Good morning, everyone. This is Rose. It's 9 o'clock, Monday, October 24th. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brand new week. And, okay, so this week is the Orlando, Florida Brooks Trading Workshop week. So people are arriving today, I believe. And there will be a gathering this evening. So if you're listening, make sure when you get to the hotel, look for your friends. I should call everybody friends, right? So we're all friends here. So anyway, sorry, I don't have enough coffee in me, so I'm trying to do my best here. And I'm kind of jealous because I can't be there. And I originally were going to be there, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. And I'm very upset about it because I really didn't want to miss this event. It was going to be my first. Hopefully I will catch the next one. Okay, so event begins actually tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So those 3 days, the trade room will be open. You can join anytime. And I will be here tomorrow and Wednesday. And then Tom Hugard will join us on the 27th. So that'll be interesting because it's the last day of the workshop. And Tom is going to be running the trade room. So I don't know who's going to join where, but that's going to be fun. So, and then Friday, I'm back on the 28th. So it's going to be a busy week for me. All right, so let's begin with last week, what happened. But before I go any further, just wanted to talk about what's happening right now pre-market. Okay, so yesterday, if you were in Discord, whether you're on my Discord or BTC, Brooks Price Action, or Brooks Trading Course, BTC, BPA, let's call it that way. Discord, I posted a bunch of charts and I said that we're coming down. I mean, yes, we had a spike and a little bit of continuation after US Open Sunday, but we started to pulling back, and you could see that this is low 1 and the pullback and low 2, and then it continued and it started to go a lot more than 20 bars. And I counted one point, it was 40 bars, and I said, no, this is just about 40 bars. I mean, this bull flag might be losing its grip. So look for these buy zones, which I posted. And if you look at it, I had a buy zone right there. We did bounce right there, okay? I don't have it here, but I had it on the chart. And I had here, here, here. So we've activated overnight. But you see how we bounced from this one, which was a really nice one. This move actually started here. So this is your first leg. This is your second leg. And you got a leg 1 for bears. This is pullback for bears. And a second leg 2 failed for bears. And then the bulls took over. So here's leg 1 for bulls and a leg 2. So this is basically a buy zone, which we bounced. You can see right there. But this is the actual base. This is where the move began. So this is a lot more, okay, strong. And most likely there are right here stops. So eventually we're going to come back and test it again. And we did. We bounced, but we didn't bounce too hard. And we didn't make new highs. So it looks like this channel is coming down. So when you, if you were trading the London Open, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then gets busy with Frankfurt, I believe, at 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. Eastern time. So you kind of see that they started to test this leg right here, this pullback, 2-legged pullback for bears, right? So low 1, low 2 failed. We made a double bottom, and the bulls took over. So you can even say this is the first leg, and this is the actual leg. Fine. Then we broke this support because we failed to break out and make new highs. We're going to come back and test this base. And that's exactly what we did. In fact, not only we test that, we came back down and grabbed some of the stops. Okay, you see this equal lows right there? I know that, price is going to come back down, and I'm probably going to have a much better buy opportunity. And you can see, look at that swing right there. So they activated this buy zone, ran some stops right there. They ran some stops right there underneath that equal low, and along the way activated this buy zone. Okay, so I'm measuring this buy zone by taking this bear bars range. Okay, so I know they're there, the buyers, and the buyers do show up, and you could see that we've made first leg pullback, second leg pullback, and a final leg. So we got a wedge there. Okay, so then I found my bull target, and we are pushing. Now you could also do, a lot more conservative target. Instead of taking the wicks, take the body. We kind of met that. See, we just went right back, and we failed to get above it with several consecutive bars. So we kind of did meet this. Like, I'll take those bodies, that, and look, single bull bar, no consecutive bull bars closing above this ray line. And then the pullback begins. First pullback is, low one, right? This bar goes below that bar, so that's low one. Second pullback from the highs for bears, so that this bar creates a low two. So bears are going to sell it, but where are they going to sell it? They're going to sell towards the range of this bear bar. Why? Because right around here is a buy zone, and the buyers showed up. So, but without getting above this ray line, we're never going to be able to reach here. So we need bears to fail somewhere here to go back up. But you could see that all of these buy zones work just fine. Now I want to get back to, hold on. So let's take a look at monthly, weekly, and daily chart real quick. So the monthly, we are bullish, you can see, and we've rested above the 200 moving average on the monthly. I still do have this measured move, which is a conservative measured move, but it is there, and I am going to keep that for a while. In fact, I'm going to redo that. So can we sell, continue to sell? I mean, we still have, this is the last week of the month. So we'll see how this month will do here. They're trying to reach highs. Obviously, they're trying to continue to go up, but this right here is looming, and it's kind of making me nervous. It's also, this high, if we start to sell again, 1, 2, and we might even make a new wedge here before we go back up and test this breakout point. I don't know, we'll see, but hopefully that's not the case. But if you read the report, the weekend report on the brookstradingcourse.com, every weekend we update it. You can see that we have a measured move, and let's take a look at the weekly. The week right here, last week, ended up very bullish. I mean, you can see we had a wedge here, 1, 2, 3, right? We tested right here. We kind of kept these, gap open. So there's a gap here, a slight gap for bulls, and so we're up. And bulls are trying to reach right there. They're very close. And then they're trying to reach these highs. Okay, so can we get there? I don't know. They're going to have to do a lot better to reach first the 20 exponential, 20-week exponential moving average. And then we'll see how they do it, because you see right here, right there, this area, look what's happening there. So when you see something like this, goes up, comes back down, gets back up, sellers are probably waiting there. It's probably gonna want to sell. I get this on the 5-minute chart all the time, and I trade it with ATR value. First, I scalp half the ATR, and I look for continuation. So a similar thing is happening here. A structure broke, right? So we could go up above it, come back down, okay? And if we don't sell further, we could go back up again. So this high and that high. Now, once the bears fail to hold the market underneath here, even if they actually broke that structure, they're not able to stay here. So what bulls want to do, they want to go back to the old place where the old structure was broken by bears, challenge it, okay? There's some bears still waiting here because look at that weekly bar. That is an impulsive week. That impulsive week, the sellers were pretty strong, and they did come down, in fact, with 2 legs. Chances are at that breakout point, sellers are waiting and they might try to sell. But if that sell doesn't last long, bulls are going to want to get back above the structural break, make a new high, come back, make a new high, okay? Eventually break out and swing. But can they come back? If they do come back here, I'm going to buy again. Now, that's what I think is the bulls are trying to do. They're trying to reach here and close that gap, okay? Now, we do have a bear channel, and you know, bears are looking for some kind of a double top, maybe double top there, okay, maybe double top here, but or it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna make a triple top wedge. So bears are trying to get some kind of a bear flag, okay, either from here or there. So and bulls are trying to keep pushing this further because they do not want that measured move to be activated. Kind of already activated, but I don't know if this is the case. I don't know if we can actually make it all the way. That would be catastrophic. So I'm assuming they broke it here. So this would be a lot more. So somewhere around 33, 37, 33, 34, 50, or just rounded 3,400, I'd say. Here, let me do this nicer. Yeah, somewhere around 3350, 33, I'm sorry, 3,400. Yeah, we might, you know, if they start to sell, we might come down. So, but right now, I think last week being, you know, closing on its high, this week the bulls are going to try to get some kind of continuation, at least to the magnets or closing these gaps, and that's what they're going to try to do. Now, let's see, I do have this falling resistance line. That's another, you know, is magnet for bulls, but they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna have to get back up here. They're gonna briefly come down. If there are no sellers, we might get back, and we might, you know, keep going up. So we'll see how that goes. If you're counting legs, right? So say this is a complex leg. It's yes, it's 2, but it's really, say it's a complex leg, and first pullback, maybe second pullback, and then the third push. So 1, 2, and 3. From the first correction, 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and 5. So I will take 1 to 4 as my bull target. So what's going on here? Normally you want to take it like this, but I am going to be a little bit more conservative because I wanted to connect that high and then right there. So if bulls do take over, eventually they're going to want to get back up here. Okay, so this is where they're going to want to get there. So that is back in the 4,500s. Obviously that's going to take some time, you know, maybe in the new year, I don't know, I would assume. So we have some sideways action, right, because of this area that we tested, and below the June low, bulls are trying to create some kind of higher low and create a major trend reversal and get back up and swing to these highs again. That's a long term. Now, let's see how this week goes, but we are going sideways, okay, a little bit bullish, but sideways, and some bears want to see some double tops and sell. Now, with that in mind, let's take a look at the daily. Now, the daily, we have a double bottom, is wedge, another wedge, bunch of nested wedges, right? So you got a wedge there, 1, 2, 3. You got a wedge there, 1, 2, 3. If I actually squeezed, I don't have anything more there. So I do have a double bottom, and that neckline is basically, I had it marked October 3rd, and then I just looked at it closely. That's not October 3rd, and then in the report it was October 5th, so I corrected it. So October 5th is the neckline. They're trying to get back up there, but again, bears see a falling trend line. Even if we get back up there, this area is going to act as resistance, because this is what the bears want. They want to see a double top bear flag, okay? So they want to try to sell as high as possible, because think of this as a huge trading range, and we're at the low of a trading range. Bulls want to go back up to the 50%, and if we do get above this falling trend line, okay, say from there to there, okay, or if I try to be a little more conservative, we're already there. So if I connect that, we're already there. But in the shorter term, if we do get above it, this is where they're trying to go, okay? So we might get a brief down before we go back up. But if we do get above this, oh boy, we're going back up. We might even go back up to that area. So on the daily, bulls are trying to become as bullish as possible, get up here, test it, get above it, test that trend line, break above it, come back down and test it, and then keep going up. And by the time when we do that, this 20 exponential moving average, or SMA, whatever you're using, once it starts to get above 50, this red, market becomes bullish again, okay? We don't have that right now. We're still bearish. We're in this channel, and the bears want to exploit these highs because they see resistance. They want to sell it all the way down here, and they want to get some kind of a measured move. And if the bears get that measured move, somehow they get a rejection, they reject bulls, this area is support, and it's kind of an important area. Take a look. I believe that's 2020 high. I don't have enough information here. But if I add, let me see the time here. We have still plenty of time. Oh, that didn't do anything, sorry. Maybe I should try 1,000. Okay, that's better. Okay, here we go. See that area right there? But I'm gonna mark this. So that's 21. That's 2020 right here. So the 2020 high is right there. We already tested, looks like. I think we tested. No, wait, that's not it. Sorry, hang on a minute. So that's October. That's 21. That's it. Okay, so the high is actually here. This is the 2020 high, I believe. So we have tested that. But this right here, we also tested. So that area acted as support, which I had the support. This blue area, I had it last week. I removed it because it was just too distracting. So now we reversed. Bulls are trying to get a higher low, but if we get rejected, this is where we're going to try to come down. And that happens to be, take a look right here, is an important price point. It's a balance zone. And something major happened there before that year and then that year. Look at that. So, and then we broke out. So that area might be attracting the price, the market. So I'm not yet that bullish. I'm watching these. okay, trend lines, see what the market is going to do. All right, so what do we have on in terms of price action? The bars go, right? So we have down channel and a correction. Leg one, bear sold again. And you could say, hey, this is leg one and leg two. I don't read it like that. It's not clear to me. So right here, bulls have another leg one and a leg two. Bears try to sell here, failed. Bulls are making the second leg. If they fail, bears are going to try to sell for the second time. Now, if they fail, then the swing bulls will join. So this is why I expect some kind of problem right around here as bulls are pushing, okay? This is somewhere around here. Bulls are going to try to sell again, most likely. All right, so or you could say, no, actually the bears try to sell. Here's leg one, leg two, and they failed, and the bulls are taking over. Well, that is an outside up bar. It's engulfing a couple of days, 1, 2, 3 days, in fact. So it's trying to get continuation, okay? And we're going to open up right around here with a follow through. We're going to gap up at the open. I changed the bars a little bit so you don't really see the continuation after hours. But when we open up, we're going to open up here with a small gap. So the bulls are going to be looking for continuation there. Now, on the hourly, I measured last week's range, the high and the low and the mid. And we're going to open up here because we're trying to get back up here. So we're going to be opening up right above last week's high. Okay. And we're going to have a slight gap there, but probably the sellers are waiting. Now on the Globex session, we have the Globex range. Okay. Asia broke down and had found support right around there. Okay. But look what just happened. The London session or the EU session went right back up to the Asia high and completely failed. So what is happening here? Well, if they're trying to sell this, they're already having a hard time right here. So the bulls are trying to stay above this level and go back to the Globex high, test these, okay, levels. So bulls are going to try to break out. Now, we're also in some kind of a bullish move, right? So we're trying to get continuation from Friday. Could this be a bull flag? Well, if it is, and if the bears actually start to close bear bars underneath this line, and then challenged here, and then come down, we might end up getting a double bottom, possibly. So the bulls probably want to get back up to these levels. Can we stay all day in this trading range? Well, when a day like this on the Friday, you try to get, okay, some kind of a continuation. So, hang on a minute. Okay, so the first hour, we're going to try to get some continuation. And then at the end of the second hour, we're probably going to try to, a couple of things can happen. We could probably go into some trading range. We could reverse, but I'm not going to be worried about the reversal at this point. I'm going to be worried about those when the price gets up here, okay? So I think at the open with the gap up, we're going to try to continue. But can we get a reversal right away at the open? I still don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes above, above the EMA. So breakouts at the open, they get about 80% have minor reversals, so we will probably have something. But only 50% they would get major reversals. So I'll know the signs. I want to see how the price is going to do. at the open first before I say anything, because this is, I think, is going to try to keep pushing higher. We've already tested the 3800 in the Globex session, but we did not break above it. Now, if we start to move underneath midnight open, then yes, we have a chance that the bears are going to try to come down here to the neckline, and then we would end up having a double top. But still, this is such a big range from Friday. If you actually measure the 50%, 50% is right here. So what if we just pull back 50% all the way to that Friday's mid-level? We can do that, and if we do that, okay, buyers are still waiting here. Even if we come down here, okay, we could still make that double bottom, trap those bears trying to sell, and then go back up again. Or that's one way. Another way, we come down, okay, we go back up to the 50% of this trading range, get rejection, come back down, break that neckline, go back up, make a lower high, then we start to sell. That's a possibility, but I don't think that's going to happen, because on the daily and weekly, we have that October 5th, I think the high that the bulls are trying to get to. But right now we have a healthy range, and we're kind of stuck in this range, so we'll see how this goes. I am watching this area underneath Globex, 50% pullback, and also watching midnight open. So love to see bulls find some support and keep going up so we can buy into continuation. Let's take a look at Friday's price action. Friday, well, the day before we had a really nice bear channel, and they try to continue that selling, okay? So similar thing upside down, okay? So just flip this chart, okay? For today, we could get that continuation, okay, for bulls, and then immediately it could reverse. We could get that reversal, but even if we get the reversal, we're going to find buyers at the 50%. But look at Friday, right? So you have a bear channel. They try to continue at the open. So would you actually sell? Would you sell that bar one? Bar one's a doji, and it's testing. Also, if you look left, it's testing some lows, right? So there's a gap here, and then the bulls took over. So that makes it a support there. It was support turn resistant turn support here, so it's going to act as support, and it did. So it came down, and it also made a bear flag. It's a expanding triangle bear flag. They tested this trend line and immediately got rejected. Now, if the bears were to get another bear body like bar 2 that were to close on its low, I would have said that, I would have thought that, okay, this trend line, we're going to break it and we're going to break down. But that never happened. Look at bar 2. Think of bar 1 as a unofficial outside bar. Okay, so yes, it's not outside. If you stick to the rules, right, you want to see 100% of a bar completely inside an outside bar to call this an outside-inside like combo. But sometimes you get this. Say this is the bar, outside bar, okay, and you get another bar. Okay, so say that its body is up there, okay, and goes like that. So the body is still inside the outside bars range, okay? So to me, this is like a variation, okay? Okay, so the market is open. To me, that's a variation, okay, right there. So this is still an inside bar, bar 2. And bar 3, at this point, I don't know what's going to happen. We're at the lows. We're below the EMA. Market comes in and tests the low, but look, it cannot breach the bar 2 low. There's no breakdown with a body. There's no breakout with a wick. and then they go and close us, just buy it. Buy it, and your target is, okay, I'm sorry, that's 1-to-1, and that's 2-to-1. 2-to-1 target right there. Okay, that's what you do. And this is all I look for. Okay, so once I learned about the OOs and IOIs, OIIs, okay, once I learned in the Brooks price action course, that's all I started looking. And I combined them with wedge setups and EMA. Where are we positioned? Are we positioned above the EMA? Are we positioned below the EMA? Is there already a 3-push wedge, and are we going to reverse? Do I see some inside bar or a variation of an inside bar and an outside bar? Where are we trapping? Where are we breaking out? That's how I get my 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and 4-to-1 targets up. Okay, like similar to here. We went up. We probably made a 3-push top here, right? So up, down, up, down, up. Or up, down, up, down, up. So we have a wedge there. And then you get an OI, 8 and 9, right? So, but we are above the EMA. Most likely, some bulls already parked their buy stop orders above bar 8, and they want to see a failure underneath the inside bar and a trap and go. But this is the problem. Market already pushed 3 times, and we gapped up. This is going to come down a little bit. We need to pull back. So if you put your buy stop order and you trail, you're safe, trail, you're safe, trail, you're safe, and then finally you see a breakout, your buy stop order will never get executed. You're never going to go long because bears are now telling you, listen, I know you want to be a buyer. I know you're expecting continuation, but let us pull back a little bit and find better price for the contracts here so that we can mark it up and make more money. Okay, so what you can do now is that if you see an inside bar, lows are being breached with a bear body, as early as you can sell there, or you can sell right around there, or sell that close. You still have a room to the EMA, and chances are this is going to try to get a second leg down into some kind of resistance turn support. That's where you would take profit, and then you would look for another outside, inside, or a reversal there, like for example right here. Do you see outside, inside right here? I don't. Do you see one here? Yes. So if you don't see an outside, inside, all you're getting is basically a pullback, okay, and it may not just reverse. But if you do get this, okay, so now you could start to look, all right, where are we in relation to the EMA? Well, market is up, but we're below the EMA. And then the outside bar, 19, is actually a bear bar. That means they're probably sell stop orders here, and they're going to try to trail it on their 20, 21, 22. Finally, they get filled with 23. They make money. If you actually sold one tick underneath 22, that's 86.25. Okay, 83.25, you make a point. Price goes to 82.75. So you made a solid point there, regardless. But look where the inside bar is breached. They come down, they trap the bears, even though bears were able to make that 1 point. This is where now they're going. Just buy it. Buy 1 tick above, or buy 1 tick, maybe above, but you're buying, so you're expecting a swing. That's how I trade. So I'm going to go back now. All right, so we gapped up and continue this move up and continue this move. Well, people are they're flying to Florida, so there's a huge blog update already, right? So from over the weekend. We have news. PMI composite flash coming up at 9:45. So next 10 minutes, we might have a slow price action. Okay. We're trying to get some continuation here. Like I said, I think they're going to try to keep pushing this towards 3,800 and above. But just be careful. We are above high of yesterday. Okay. We need bull bars. Keep going up. Now I have, what is that? For some reason. I think that's the, where did I get that? 3820. May have measured something and put it there. Oh, it's this high. Okay. So that's October 5th, although that's a bit of inaccurate. No, actually, I am accurate. Okay, so that's 19. Nope, 20. All right. So I am accurate. So they're trying to reach there. That's the October 5th high. Okay. But we have a huge trading range here. So you see that trading range? It's also an expanding triangle-ish a little bit. There's, let's see. I'm going to connect these. 1, 2, 3. So they're trying to get back up here. That body is just too big. Bar 2 is too big, but it's nice. Now, you have 2 bars. The only problem with these 2 bars is that one of them is a bear bar, but both close on their highs. Would have been better if bar 1 was actually a bull bar, even if it was a small bar, but it's a bull bar. So because one of them is bearish, I don't know how far we're going to keep going. So probably to that level, they're trying to push. And also, let's take a look at something here. Okay, we just reached the measured move target, 37.99. If you measure from here, look at bar 31. It's a breakout. They're trying to get back up here. But we are at a measured move target, so be careful there. 9:45 is a PMI. It's a big news. Anytime a news ends with I or starts with I, you have to pay extra attention. If you're in a trade, you may want to wrap up that trade and get out before the news release, because it can move hundreds of points and you could get stuck in it. Bulls are trying to break the Asia high, which they failed at around 7:45 this morning. And they're trying to break again so that they can get to the Globex high. I'm not in this trade because of the news. Bulls have high 2, okay, set up. So they're trying high 1, high 2, or high 1, high 2. This bull bar went above that bar. Now we have another bull bar going above, so they're trying to get continuation. As soon as we meet the measured move, look what happened. Bulls started to take profit. Now, also bar 1 being a bear bar, it just didn't really attract the bulls, did it? I warned you about that. So you could have taken profit there and get out of the way until the news. And we're getting a rejection now. Now, we have an outside bar, okay, and we have an inside bar, bar 3. It's not the official version of it, but it is still. Okay, so what does this mean? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait what happens with bar 4, because if this bar 3, closes like this inside the bar, just like what I explained earlier, okay, what could happen? The next bar could open here, go up a little bit, come back down and breaks it. Oh, we're going to get another leg down. Don't want to buy something that doesn't want to go up. Or we could say this bar closes, okay, and bears come in and test it, but they close the bar on its high. that means there are buy stop orders right there. Okay, most likely many will be lowered above the inside bar. As the bulls close the bull bar, they're going to activate, but then they're going to want to activate those bull bars and go up. That's I like. I would want that, but I don't see it yet. So right now I have two variations in my head, and I am now watching and filtering the trade with bar 3. If they close this bar on its low, already break out from the low of bar 2, that's a reversal, right? So that's a 2-bar reversal, and they're probably going to want to come down and test the high of yesterday or the bar 75 high. But I don't know. I'm just right now running ideas. I could say 50 different things, okay? I still would be wrong because the bar hasn't closed yet. So what's the use of this can be happening or that can be happening? I don't know. Let's wait for bar to close. That's when you will know. One minute left for the news. Watch out. We could quickly come down and test the midnight open. You do not want to be stuck in a bar that can dump about 10 points or more than 10 points. And have you noticed that since bar 66 Friday, we have not tested the EMA? So that's problematic for bulls, right? So what does that mean? 66, 76, right? So that's 10. Add another 10. Maybe we have to make another 20 bars before we're coming down. All right, here comes the news. Bulls are now buying the high one, first high one. So what happened here? Unofficial inside bar. They closed it slightly below its midpoint, so it's still bearish, but it's not really a good reversal. So now bulls are trying to close that bar above this inside bar high. They already activated the buy stop orders above that, okay? And these bulls are now wanting to go up here. So, or right there, 1-to-1, 38.22-ish. These bulls and both above bar 2 or lower their buy stop order above what seems like a high one, but it's a bear bar. They took a chance and they're trying to get to their 1-to-1 right there. But be careful here. Bulls need to close above Asia range, okay, high with a bull body to continue to go up. They're first going to try to get to the Globex high. This is their next target, but really this is where they're trying to reach, bulls. Can they get rejected? Oh yes, they can get rejected, okay, because this is a range, range high sold, and there are probably still some bears there. We have alternating bars, no consecutive bull bars, so once we reach some kind of objective, just be careful, okay? Pay yourself because we have a potential of coming down. Either that or conservative 1-to-1 target met, if you go with that, and 2-to-1 if you're measuring from that unofficial inside bar. This is where the bulls are trying to go. Bulls trying to reach the Globex high. We are above last week's high, and we reached some kind of a make-believe target. Fibonacci targets are make-believe targets. So I'm going to call them that because L doesn't have any respect for them. I don't want to lie. I respect them a little bit, but not this one. Generally the 150, between the 150% and that, and then 1-to-1 target. That's how I really look at them. But this to me is a make-believe target, so I'm going to have to, assume that the bulls are trying to get above it and get certain highs. But really, all you have to look at is the Globex session. Okay, Globex range high, range low, mid range, measured new targets, and certain magnets. Okay, so this is October 5. And then the EMA, I'm sorry, the 50 SMA, that red line on the daily chart. All right, so we are stalling here because if you measure from the inside bar, bulls kind of got their 1-to-1, and it was a news bar. So we don't know. That bar needs to close on its high. But if they do close it, they could continue to go up. There's still 50 seconds. What if it closes lower? Then you have a, double top, bar 2 and 3, and a, bears are going to be stuck. But I think, bulls are going to be stuck. So I think the bulls are going to try to avoid that, and they're going to try to push this bar as high as possible in 20 seconds to avoid that. But if they cannot avoid this trap at the highs and above high of yesterday, this might be all they're getting. And then we could move quickly towards the EMA and under the EMA. And if we do move under the EMA, I have targets. So this is support right here, okay? Or somewhere 50% of that balance zone, we could come down and maybe look for a bounce. Do we have a 20 bar gap? Okay, so that is not a good bull close. That is not a good look. Okay, that bar 4 closed below its midpoint. It's not a bear bar, but it's not extremely bullish either. Now, I'm gonna get, okay, that thing doesn't work well. So I'm gonna look to see how many bars here. 66. We might get maybe a couple more bars from here to there. We need about 2 or 3 more bars to get a 20 bar gap. Okay. I did not like the way the bar 4 closed. Bulls are still trying to keep the bull pressure, but I want to see how this bar is going to close. In bar 5, I'm a little bit worried about the bulls here. They're still trying to reach the targets, but 15-minute bar still has 8 minutes, and it's still trying to close the Asia range high. If they can't close, that's fine. They're going to have to get to the Globex high. Then that would be imminent. We would definitely get to the Globex high, and that's around here, that ray line, okay? But if we fail, then that's it, right? We have 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3, possibly a wedge there. And then once the bears see a 20 bar gap to the EMA and they see some kind of weakness here, they might actually reverse it. So I don't like it. It's still news bars. Bar 4 is the news first bar. Bar 2 is going to be the second news bar. I would wait for probably 3 news bars, 15 minutes to pass to get a clear direction eventually to set. So all I know is that the bulls who bought, okay, stuck with bar 4 high. So that is a news reaction, okay? They bought down here and moved the bar a little bit higher to exit out. So if they actually bought here and bought here, they got stuck. They're going to come back and buy around here, and the bar 5 goes up and rescues them, okay? So if these bulls got stuck with bar 4 getting out of the market, I have no business being in the market. Okay, so I have to wait for where the bar 5 is going to close. Huh. Well, things miraculously working great, Ken. I don't know, link was in my mailbox. I said, oh, link is there. Click on that. The go to webinar. Ken sets me up every morning. So, I mean, he does it for everyone as well. So he manages all that. So there's no link in my mailbox. I cannot start the webinar, or I'm trying to start somebody else's webinar. I don't know. It's possible. I tried to do that the other day and then realized, wait, I'm not live today. Tim, are you listening? Tim F. Hey, good morning. So you got your short shorts, tank tops, flip flops, and all the essentials. You got to blend in. That's what the Orlandians wear. That's it. I was gonna type that, and I said maybe I should be a little bit more. I should behave. So I excluded some more essentials from that list. But flip-flops, you have to have them. That's for sure. That's like the most important item. Sunblock. Every 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you have to run out to get your sunshine. Walmart. What do you know about Walmart? Walmart is American as it gets. I don't know. Are there any Walmarts outside the United States? Probably not, right? I am surprised that you talk Walmart language. Walmart. All right, so we still haven't closed this Globex bar above the Asia range. That's the fight. That's what I'm watching. All right, bar 5 closed on its side. That's a good bull pressure, but it couldn't get the full wick. So, but it's still a good bull pressure. So that means bulls are still trying, and 4 more minutes. If the Globex bar closes, we might just push a little bit more before coming down, or we're just going to completely eliminate this area. But I am nervous around here. Just watch out, because I don't want to get trapped here, even though there's bull pressure here. So you can also count, okay, 1 up, down, another 1 up, down. So the bulls are pushing for the 3rd push wedge. There's a wedge here. 1, down, up, down possibly, and we're going to go right back up maybe again. We'll see. So what do you guys see over there? Now we have an official outside inside. What's that? Bar 4 and bar 5, right? So bar 4 is an outside bar. Bar 5 is an inside bar. So the location is above EMA and the outside bar is bullish. So there are probably buy stop orders there, some actually lowered, and they might have already entered with bar 6. Bar 6 activated those buy stops trailed above bar 5, but some majority is up there. That's why it makes it a buy side liquidity in a way. So you do not want to see, okay, bears coming down and close a bear bar underneath, because think about it this way, right? So you have an outside bar, you have an inside bar, right? These are bull bars, right? So bears want to close a bar right there in the low, because if they do that, most likely they're going to want to come down and test that low and break out. And that generally happens with 2 legs, okay? But bulls, what they can do is they can come in, they can make it look like bearish, and then at the close, they would get a wick, and then the body would close up here. That means those buy stop orders are going to get a lot more excited now, because most likely they're going to be activated and they're going to make money. So I'm watching now what will happen inside of bar 4 with bar 6. They're doing it right now. Look, they're trying to come down. They're scaring the bulls. Okay, many bulls, they put their stop here. Okay, they're like, oh, this is coming down, it's going to kick us out. What they do is they take those stops, kick those bulls, only to go close higher. Now, those bulls got out early because they got scared. They're going to jump in and become bullish, and the next bar ends up being a bull bar, taking out all of these buy stops, and then you get another bull bar and another bull bar. That's how you get the breakout. So now I'm watching bar 5. Now bar 6, if bar 6 ends up closing below the inside bar's low, that's a bear pressure, that's fine. Then I want to see bears actually break the official outside bar's low to show me that they can get their breakout, and there's some kind of a magnet here they're trying to go. Until then, I'm not selling anything. Right now, they kind of made people nervous, and now they're trying to close that bar as high as possible. Walmart is amazing. You guys, how about Target? The Target. You gotta go see Target. Target is amazing. You can have a whole new wardrobe from Target. Yes, all the essentials. Macy's. Is there any Macy's down there? Oh my goodness. It's funny that, you know, this fun with foreigners. So, you know, they come into America and the first thing they want to see is Walmart. That's what I did. I found myself at Macy's. First time I came to the United States, 1997, April. Somebody said, Macy's, let's go. Sounds great. And that was amazing. And the fact that the men are excited about going to shopping centers, it's amazing. All right, so they're trying to close now, bar 7. Okay, so we're trying to get a direction. So bar 4 is the first news bar 5 is the second, and then bar 6 is the third one. So 15 minutes passed, we finally might be getting some kind of direction. All right, see what's happening here? I want to see where the 7 is going to close. Are they going to be able to break out of, okay, the inside bar's low? That means, well, they kind of did, but the body hasn't closed bearish yet. If they do close that body bearish, they're going to come down and test the bar 4 low. That means they're probably coming down to the EMA. But let's just wait. Things are very difficult when you're in a, you know, let's call this like a mother bar, the outside bar. You're in a range, basically. It's also now the 20 bars since bar 66. So there's probably buyers here. I'm still not interested in selling this. I just need to see where this bar is going to close. But look, if you want to sell early, then your whole reasoning is from the Globex. Asia high rejected again. That bull bar failed to close above Asia for the second time. Bulls tried once and bulls tried twice. So now who's taking over? Bears. So where are they going? Most likely to EMA. But they need to close a bear bar at the low of bar 4, then they will get their breakout. That's because you either have some kind of a wedge structure with a double top, higher high or lower high, finally reversing. That's the only time I would be inclined to sell above EMA outside of a bullish outside bar or mother bar, because I know it's trying to reach here. It's also a small head and shoulders at the high of yesterday. Okay, so bears see that. They're trying to break the neckline. They kind of did with that bar 7. Now, what happened to the bulls? Well, they got stuck buying above here. They still made money, but let's see if they actually made money. So if they bought by trailing their buy stop order 1 tick above the inside bar, they got activated 01. So price needs to go to 0225 to give them a solid 1 point. 0225, 0325, it went to 04. So these bulls made money regardless because they know they will be able to make the money. But the only problem is that how far can this go, right? It didn't go far. So they have to exit out at some point, because it's probably a wedge, double top, or 3 push with lower high. Pattern traders are seeing some kind of a small head and shoulders. Asia range high, we failed to breach once again. I said the 1 hour session is hitting some kind of a make-believe target, and it's also in a sell zone that sold before there, so they're testing. So that's why I said just be careful, let's see what happens here. Now, they did not get that, hey, let's make it look like sell and close it high. Bulls didn't get that, so they have no reason to stay. And now this bar is about to close bearish, but we have reached the EMA. Now, if the bears actually end up closing the bar on its low at or one tick below the EMA, bears are going to want to probably sell that further. Now, what do you see here? I see this. So that's an expanding triangle. We might bounce, so neckline, I'm sorry, apex, so they're trying to break that apex, and they're trying to come down here. So where did that bar now close? That bar is a surprise bar. That's a surprise bear bar. Now, but it closed below the EMA, so it's gapping down slightly below the EMA, but nothing that exciting. And now if you actually count from here, so you have 78, so that's 10, 11, right? And 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 bar, but nothing more. So can we actually bounce here? I don't know. First bar clinging to the EMA, second bear bar clinging to the EMA. I would want to see bears failing to break out below or separate from the EMA, below the EMA. That means failing to gap down and sell, and then suddenly you start to get bull bars. But this is a surprise bear bar. I don't want to buy against this unless I see a strong bull close above the EMA. We have a breakout now from the bar 4, outside bar. So every breakout needs some kind of continuation, follow through, not a failed follow through, okay? So if this is not only a breakout bar from this range, bar 4 range, it's also a gap bar, okay? But the problem here is now EMA. Bulls are trying to eliminate that, but bears are trying to close the gap. There's a small gap there. They're trying to close it. Remember, even if we gap up at the open, even if there's a gap, they're going to try to close it regardless. So this is a breakout pullback, and it could still continue, but depending on how the bar closes. Bulls are trying to cling to the EMA, or the market is trying to cling to the EMA, and the bulls will see a failure and they could still buy. And they're also trying to prevent high of yesterday, okay, from being broken, because as long as price stays above high of yesterday, it's going to want to stay above it to stay bullish. It's got, still targets up here. Can we get a wedge bull flag? I don't like the fact that this is higher, so that gives us a not a wedge bull flag, but a expanding triangle bull flag. We could get that. Bears want to break this trend line and sell into here, and bulls want to trap them and go right back to the apex and go further up again. So this is a mess. Now, if bar 8 closes bearish, that's a breakout pullback and becomes follow through, then they're going to keep selling. There's a small balance zone here. They're trying to get there to the center of it. Okay, so they just closed the gap now. bears close the gap, but they need a body. They need a body literally overlapping with bar 81 in order to officially close it. Better if it closes one tick below the close of 81. That would be overlapping. That would be a success for bears. Now, again, that is the trend line they're trying to get to. So official breakout, okay? And if you want to actually measure your targets, that's the outside bar. I measure it. They're already at the half risk reward. They're trying to get to the 1-to-1, okay? They're trying to get down here, but they need to close this bar here and then get continuation. And that happens to be also the trend line. But in order to continue after taking profit, they're taking profit right now. It's bouncing, okay? They're going to have to close that bar somewhere here, not above it. Okay, so they closed it above. It's still closer to that line, but it's not below. So there's a potential of bouncing before selling, and it's trying to bounce. But this is where the bears are trying to come down to. So if you sell a breakout, okay, you have to take a partial profit there, more profit here. And if you see a bar actually closing below this level, you don't have to take profit. You can continue to sell. But there's a chance that this might just go right back up. So because we tested the second target, that's why it's thick and dash line, I'm basically alerting myself that profit taking will be a lot more stronger here, and it's most likely to bounce, especially if the bar fails, fails to close below this level. So that's the pullback now, but it really is profit taking. Now, if bears are able to close a bear bar, they're going to want to come down to -100. That's just 1-to-1 target. Or you could just, that's it right there, 1-to-1. So I'm going to wait to see how this profit taking goes, because bulls, if there are no bears there, and why would there be no bears? Or why would bears hesitate to jump in and continue to sell the close of that bar? Look left. What do you see here? They had a breakout here, and they have a balance zone. I said that balance zone, okay, is probably problematic because bears did something. They have check boxes, right? Check box break out of the outside box range, okay? So outside bar range, I'm sorry, bar 4. And second check box, close the gap. Did they close the gap? Yes. Did they meet some target there, which was, you could say 150 to 150 to 160, 180, right? 160, 180 is the make-believe target, but some machines might respect that, I don't know. And that was the third checkbox. So that's why we're bouncing. Now, what if they don't come back? Then the pullback could go all the way back up to the outside bars breakout range. Then I would look to sell there once again. If we keep sending Tim, okay, to these places, next thing you know, he's going to find himself at the immigration office and signing, you know, a bunch of papers to immigrate to this country. You guys are going to be the reason for Tim uprooting himself all the way to America, all because of Costco, Walmart, and Target. The land of the capitalism. It's terrible. It's like I crack a joke and there's no one here to echo back, you know, no one's laughing. It's the worst thing. It's very hard doing this job, let me tell you. This is why Al doesn't crack a joke. Although he laughs at his own statements, sometimes I hear the smile and the laugh and the amusement of what he says, but the reason why he never cracks a joke, he already figured it out. There's nobody to laugh back. And it's really weird feeling. So I'm going to stop with the jokes. Well, thank you, Trisha and Arvind. Thanks. All right, so it's still pulling back. It started as a profit taking because bears checked 3 boxes. Now, where can it go still? Well, again, bar 4 low, that's what they're trying to get to, depending on where this bar closes. And then look what happened at the Globex, the level that I mark every day religiously. Okay, we failed to close above Asia range for the second time. First time, and also the second time in the US session, first time in the pre-market. And then where we're going to go? Right to the magnet, midnight open. Do we have a bear bar below, closing below midnight open? No. So we're not that bearish. So if there's a bounce, where do you think it's going to go? Okay, to the probably the Asia mid-range, or it's going to pull back to where it sold before. It sold around maybe there. Or can we go back up there? Impossible. Even if we go back up there, bears may want to get another leg down. And bulls are trying to get a high too, right? So this is their high 1. If you count from here, this is the high 1, okay? Buying above bar 3, but it's really a bad one. And then you get a high 2, but it failed, right? So now bears take over. So how do I count this? Well, if you count this, could this be the low 1 and low 2? Low 2 leg, okay, is basically at the EMA. Could be failing, which it did, but it's only a pullback. Now, bears are trying to get their bear flag. So we did pull back. Buyers didn't really show up other than a 1 bar. So now they're selling above the first pullback bar. Now the bears are trying to now break out. So now I have another outside inside, bar 8. Okay, and get rid of that. This is why I don't distribute this indicator. It's horrible. So here is bar 8 and bar 9. Bar 9 is an inside bar. Now bears are trying to close a bear bar underneath, okay, bar 9, because they're probably sell stop orders already got activated. They're trying to make a point and a continuation because they want to see, okay, this right here, bar 8 low activated, so they can come down here and maybe even breach and get the 1-to-1. If you're measuring from the outside bar, if you're measuring from the inside bar, your 1-to-1 is here. Now, bulls want to trap the bears, okay, below the EMA or at the EMA, because what do you see? You see clinging bars, right? Bar 7, 8, 9, 10, all clinging to the EMA. There is no separation from the EMA. So how bearish is this? Not that bearish. But it could get very bearish very quickly if we start to see bear bars closing below midnight open on the 15-minute chart. If it doesn't, I am not interested. But bears see a bear flag. It's the first bear flag. But it's just, is it that strong? Now, what's happening here? Bulls are trying to trap the bears, trying to sell underneath that inside bar. It's undecided. Limit order sellers were above or at the high of bar 9. And bears are trying to get second leg down. So if this bar suddenly closes here, we're probably going to come down here. You could also say, if I count from up top here, this is low 1, and bears are trying to get a low 2. Okay, I don't see it yet. But first you have to ask yourself, are you in a bear trend or are you in a bull trend? We're in a bull trend, so all this is a pullback, okay? And the bulls are trying to trap these bears, trying to sell. all right? Because if they're selling, their stops are probably here. And they can make it look like selling, okay, only to buy into those stops, okay? So they would make it look like selling only to buy into those stops, and it could go right back up. So you're at the EMA. You could be disregarding this trend, okay? And you got a bunch of bars clinging to the EMA after 20 bar gap. So you now have third bear bar closed below the EMA. That's still a pressure, okay, bear pressure. But are they really there? I want to check something here. So the buyers, okay, they might be actually lowering their buy stop order from there to there, okay? They're waiting for this bar to close, and they want to lower it down here as soon as this closes. If they haven't sold and they're looking into buying, they haven't bought, they haven't bought anything and they haven't been activated, so they're still safe. But the bears are trying to get that bear flag, and it is a bear flag in a way, but they need a, close below the outside bar low now. Okay, so they're breaching. Target is that trend line, but if they fail right here, I don't think they will, because this bar is kind of separating. You see that EMA is not really, there's like a one tick gap. They open that bear bar one tick below, so that's actually a separation from the EMA. So they're getting some kind of bear pressure. And then they're trying to close it right here below the 37.6475. So they're trying to get a continuation to that trend line. But is it really truly that bearish? This is also the second leg after breaking the neckline of this head and shoulders. So it could die. You know what I mean? Like, we could trap the bears with that second leg. You need a bear body closing below bar 8 low for an actual breakout from this outside bar range. Because bar 8, bar 9, and bar 10 are still inside bars. And we still don't have a breakout, but they are trying to break out. And if they do break out, conservative target 1-to-1 or 1-to-1. So this is where they're trying to go. Or you could say, somewhere there they're trying to reach. They're trying to come down here, bar 66 low, most likely. First target is right there. Now, if this bar closes bearish like this, bears are now going to want to come down and test the Globex low, possibly, but we have a breakout and there's a gap. So from here to here, buyers might be waiting this area. I'd say give yourself a little bit of reward here and leave a runner. See if we can come down and test the bar 66 low, maybe even 48 low area. But we're probably going to bounce because now another checkbox. Okay, the trend line is tested by bears. If you also measure just to see the scalper machines, what are they doing? Are they scalping? Because that's the new. Look where they're testing. So do you think we're going to bounce here like we did with bar 8 and 9? That's a profit taking, right? So if bar 8 is your new outside up, outside down bar, and we broke out from its range, where are they taking profit? Right there. Now, in order to continue to get the 1-to-1 target, here, let me measure from there to there so you get the, in order to, see, I took profit right there. So in order to get this, further down to 1-to-1 target, okay, we need a bear body closing below this level or breaching this trend line. Then we would end up coming down here. Yes, we now, that lower wick of bar 11 is a profit taking. But if there are no buy orders there, bears can close this bar 12 one tick below 37.52 or 51.75. Then they can continue. That's why I said pay yourself here, just in case we get a stronger bounce like we did with bar 9. Now, with this outside bar 8, the distance to the breakout point is a lot shorter than the distance from here to the bar 4 low, okay? This was the old outside bar. We had a huge gap, so we could not reach there. But there's a much bigger probability bulls may want to go back up to that breakout test point. Bar 11 is the breakout of bar 8 low, so we could test there before selling again. Or they're just going to sell their sell stop orders underneath bar 11, and as bar 12 comes down, it could activate and it could continue very quickly into 1-to-1 target right there. So I would want to see where this bar is going to close. Or if it fills the lower wick of bar 11, that means it's got still a bear pressure. They're just going to keep pushing. But I think we're going to bounce to the upside a little bit, because there's a much better place to sell up here than down here. When a certain level is hit after a breakout, which I get it by measuring, I take profit because I know it's going to stall here and it's going to go up and down and up in one bar, and it's going to drive you crazy, and you're going to like, what is happening here? Just take the money off the table. Just put it in your account. If it goes up, you can always say, hey, I was right. They're bouncing and I didn't have to sit in that bounce. But if it's going down, hey, my runner is running. You could say that, right? If it goes up and your runner is not making money, what you can do is right at the breakout point, you can sell again another contract to make that runner that was losing with this pullback make money again. Or you could just hit close and be done with it. And then wait to enter when certain criteria meets, like the test of bar 8 low. Because if there are sellers there around 37.62, ATR is, where is my ATR? ATR is 14 points and a quarter, right? Half the ATR is 7. So let's see, 62. Just rounded, so half the ATR is 7, we could still come down to here very quickly. And then full ATR, 14 down here. But this bar hasn't closed yet. It's still pulling back up to the breakout test point, which is bar 8 low. Okay, so it just reached. It's also a failure to break out, right? Bears broke out, but they're failing. So some machines will sell at 37.62. ATR is too big. It's trying to go 14 points to the upside or 15 points to the upside. So then half would be, so it bridged too much. I didn't sell. I would want to see some kind of a wick forming before selling, because my eye is on here. I don't like the fact that they breached so much inside, but eventually I think they will sell. It's going to try to come back down here. If there were sellers, the machines will sell it automatically. And if they're stock machines, they're going to sell that high, just like they did here, that bull bar. And they're going to try to at least rescue those sold exactly where I marked. You see how that bar is coming to get those guys? Because you have about 3 to 4 bars to meet the target, at least half the target. So ATR is now 13, 14, 12. I'm going to say 12. So that would be 6 points. I don't know if we could get a 6 points out of this. But all I know is that the machines who sold right at that breakout point, 8 and bar 11 breakout point, they got stuck with that bar. So they sold that bar high, and now they're trying to break even, okay, with that. And then if this bar continues to come down to the 6 point, half the ATR-ish, okay, then they will be making money because they're assuming they could still get to their target next, 3 to 4 bars. But when I see a really strong breach of a breakout test, I try to get out. If I'm stuck, I try to get out and I don't care, because that to me is a problem right there for bears. So if you're wondering why this bar 13 came all the way down here, that's the reason alone. But now I'm done, especially if a second bull bar closes on its high and higher than the previous bar that's supposed to sell. That's another reason. If you haven't gotten out of your bear short trade, get out, because that could still go up. Now, when would the bears actually sell again? Because they're also stuck here. If they sold the close, they're probably going to try to sell here or some breakout point somewhere up there to break even. But to me, I'm no longer interested, because if the bulls close above this 50% of this outside bar 8 range, mid-range, they can go right back up here. So many bears who sold that breakout point, disappointed with bar 12, they sold anyway and they got out. And if there are no more bears there, this can continue to go up to maybe these levels. There are 2 bear bars, 10 and 11. There might be some sellers, maybe above 11 or at the high of 10. There might be still bears there wanting to sell, because some may have been trapped there. So if they sell again, say somewhere here, say they sold, they're going to hope that the market will return to the 50% and now give them a break even. So 2 bear bars, that's the strongest bear bar. There might be some limit order sellers there, limit order sellers here, might be even there. So you just wait. You wait for bar to close. You don't just add to your losing trade. You wait for this bar to close because you're trapped, and you wait where they're going to sell again. See, some are already selling that upper wick, but I like to wait for bar to close. I don't like to sell blindly. I did say it's a mess. It's a mess. The continuation at the open failed at the highs and high of yesterday. Now bears are moved below open of the day tick price, but they're getting failures at where I marked. And now bulls are trying to go back up again. It's a mess. So we're in some kind of a trading range, because after a strong bull moves or bear moves, you end up going into a trading range. So they're probably trying to buy low. They're going to probably sell high. But what do you see on the Globex session? So still no bear bar below the midnight open. So the bears are not that strong. We need a bear body to get to the Globex low. Bulls are trying to prevent the midpoint test and get another bear flag and sell. So they're trying to prevent that breakdown at the midnight open, because they want to keep going back up. So now we're at and above the apex of this expanding triangle. So I'm going to get those highs. So the bulls are now trying to get back up here because they want to get the next test of that line. So if you sold, you needed to take profit where I said you need to take profit, because your stop is also somewhere up here, right? Because that's kind of a lower high, right? So down, lower high, and another leg. So your stop, if you didn't get out, your stop is hit. So you're kicked out already. And no one has sold. So 3 bull bars, and there's no gapping there. Bar 13, nope, there's no gapping there, but it's still strong. Okay, bull pressure. Many bears might be actually upset. But look what I see here. There is a gap here from there to there. So they're going to still sell because many bears are still stuck here. So if they sell in this gap area, they're still going to want to come down here at a 50% break-even level. So can we see some kind of a pullback here? It's possible, but if I was still in this bear position and I see 2 bull bars closing like that, like I said, I'd be hitting close so fast, I wouldn't even linger. I don't care. And I will not be selling up here. They will try to sell up there, and they will try to come back, say 50% of that gap is somewhere here, or they have sold there. Just measure from there where they sold, started to sell at least. So this right here is their break even. So they're trying to reach there still. But after bar 13 close, I probably hit close. I would not care for it. Because that's too much of a pullback anyway. Look, they start to buy there. It went up there. That's an 18 point. Do you think I'm going to let price go 18.5 point to the other side? No. I will be done with it after 5 points at least. I'm done. I'm not taking no more than that. But you see why they're selling there? There's a bear gap there. And these bears, with the close of bar 11, they're still stuck. So they still want to get out. And they're thinking, this is it. This is Hail Mary. This is where we're going to get out. It needs to come down. But if it doesn't, if they haven't gone out, then they're going to be losing maybe more than 20 points. That's no way to trade. It's a mess. Now I want to take a look at some Cyclopedia charts. We slightly gapped up at the open and came back down to the EMA, but we have closed the gap to the EMA. We even breached below the, let me get that out of the way. So I'll put the price point. Okay. So that's the break even. And these bears still haven't done a good job. So here, there's a breach and then go back up. So can we actually look, they closed the gap and now they're trying to get back up to the highs again. So that means this area is still attracting. October 5th is still attracting. Okay. Now 3 bull bars and 1 to 1, 2 to 1 is where the bulls are trying to get up to. But bulls already reached 1 to 1 if you're measuring from the inside bar, right? If you're measuring from the outside bar, that's your 1 to 1. They haven't reached yet, so they could still continue to push. But if you measure from the inside bar, they reached the mother bar. I'm sorry, they reached the 1 to 1, and they started to take profit with bar 14 upper wick. You could see the profit taken, but they want to get back up here. Now bulls want to close that bear gap. So what happened to these bears down here? They still haven't, get their break even. They might be getting nervous because if we get a bull bar closing above 82.25, okay, we could quickly get back up here. Look, leg 1, pull back, leg 2. Leg 1, pull back, we could get a leg 2. So look at that. See, we came down, bull trend, bounced. We didn't get this. Or look at this one. This is much better. Evolving into a trading range. That's us right there. So we came down 2 legs, leg 1, leg 2, leg 1, leg 2, and we're trying to stay above the EMA. We didn't quite go all the way to the highs, okay? But we stayed and it made a 1, 2, and 3 wedge bear flag, or 1, 2, 3, and a lower high wedge bear flag, and sold into the 50%-ish. That's really not a 50%, almost 66% pullback, but it's somewhere there. We did not get this. So profit taking at 1-to-1, and we did not close above open of the day tick price. That's a pullback. It's the first leg, so that's your pullback. So the bears are still getting their break even. Good for them. 69.50. If you're stuck down here, okay, that's the gap. They're selling the gap, and they're trying to reach that 69.50. Look at that. Could we get this? We didn't get a buy climax at the open, but look what just happened here. Look at that. 2 legs down, 3 bull bars, failure, lower high, trend reversal. Takes out the entire bull trend. Can we do that? I don't know. Bears have to take out the entire Friday's bullish move. Don't think that's going to happen. But look what's happening on the daily. That to me, is that what they call it, evening star? Or I get confused with the morning star. I think the morning star is when it's down below and it's a bullish reversal. I think the evening star, I don't know, half moon and crescent, and I don't know. I don't go with the moon phases, or the stars, but that could end up being a sell signal, okay, for tomorrow if we close it like that. There's still some kind of a underwear discussion going on in Discord. I'm not even gonna. All right, so can we get this? We need a surprise bear bar. But the bears, look what happened. They sold that finally, and they got there, and even it just went 1 tick below to fill every other bear trying to break even. Look at that. Look at that, 1 tick below. That to me, break even right there. So everybody who sold the close of bar 11 safely got out. Now, good for the bears for getting out, okay, by selling up here in the gap area. They might have sold here 1 contract. They might have sold there, or maybe sold, I don't know if that's not even that, but they sold somewhere in the gap area. So they finally were able to break even. Now, if this bar, okay, closes below that break even, that means more bears might be still holding and hoping that this is going to become a surprise bar like this, and it's going to keep selling into these lows. But let's just wait. That's not a true outside down bar 15. That's just a pullback now, okay? Because bulls are looking for, this is a bullish trend. If you count from here, that's your first entry long. That's your second entry long. Or if you count from here, I mean, these bars didn't go above it, so 2-legged move down, counter move by bears ended. That's the first entry long. Bulls are trying to get a second entry long. So you have to pick a side. What do you want to be? You want to be bullish or you want to be bearish, right? We're right at the apex of this expanding triangle. Bears want to come back and test this trend line and break it and get a measured move down and sell into the magnet 1-hour EMA. Basically get one of these, maybe this. Because these bears, some strong bears, okay, who sold here, they might have broke even with the contract they sold here, but they still did not make money, okay? So they're hoping to push this further down and make money. I don't know. If I was trying to break even after 3 bull bars, 12, 13, and 14, you just break even and you get out of the way. And then you reassess the situation, okay, and you make a decision what you want to do. It's going to get bearish if we do close below the midnight open. It's not bearish enough for me. It's overlapping bars, trading range, limit order market. It's not bearish enough. So and overall trend is bullish. We're in a trading range. They bought at the lows and they want to sell at the highs. So unless I start to see good surprising bars closing like that, or half the size of bar 7, sure. But even that surprise bar, I said that's a surprise bear bar. And it got continuation, another leg. But that's all they got, right? That's all they got. Nothing major. So we could get this, right? So you have a wedge, 1, 2, and 3. Or 1, 2, 3, right? And 2 legs down, clinging to the EMA. Clinging to the EMA. We had a brief gap, but look what happened there. This bar is now, bar 11 is kind of touching the EMA, so there is no gap. And the breakout failed. So the bulls took over. Look, 1, 2, 3 bull bars closing above the EMA, or right around there. Just went up a little bit. Then it got a 2-bar reversal, came back down, made a bear flag, and sold. But again, trading range lows, buyers are there. So we could come back down a little bit lower than that low, okay, if they sell. But there are probably buyers there. So midday reversal maybe again? I don't know. We'll see. Right now we're stuck at the apex. So could today be a trading range day? Take a look at the opening. I warned you about those alternating bars. Nothing bullish, nothing bearish, and suddenly you get some kind of up and a big down. So if it is not already streaming at you, that's trading range open, so you get a little bit of continuation until it breaks out. Somebody broke even and happy about it. That's good. That means I've done my job, okay, Lorenz. I saved you and your account. I can literally go away and be happy. That's my job, okay? Try to keep you guys on the right side of the market. You know, a lot of people come into L. Burke's room and listen to L and get confused. Like they listen to him because he reads both sides of the markets, right? He reads it for the bulls, he reads it for the bears, because there's a two-sided trading always, right? Somebody's making money off of somebody else's bad trade, so he needs to point that out. Those people come in and they spend what? Because they're so, you know, I don't want to say anything. I got to watch my words, but they spend only 2 hours, right? And then they have a little judgment about it. They go out and write on some review board. Oh, yeah, I watched it. It was so confusing. It was confusing because you came in hopes of making a shadow trade and make it a quick bucks, and then say that you had such a great time in a trade room and you made a lot of money. Why? Because you followed somebody else's trade blindly and you just walked away with green. But are you going to be able to repeat that trade on your own? Probably not. So when those people go out and write reviews, how accurate or legit those reviews? Think about it, right? So I was upset when I came in the first time listening. I was so confused. What is he talking about? And I was halfway into the course, so I didn't know much about it. It was very confusing. But once I start to give in my first month, the second month, the third month, the fourth month, you know, I start to get the lingo down. And I understood why he reads the both sides, because you need to know. You need to know what the bulls and the bears are doing in order to see who's trapped where and how they're going to exit out. And when they exit out, what the other side does to exploit that. You don't see any of that. You can't trade, especially the 5-minute chart. So, yes, there's some kind of an inverse head and shoulders now, okay? setting up, and there's a double top. Bulls are trying to break above that double top and go test the highs, maybe get back up to here. Bulls need to now try to close above Asia mid-range to become bullish again. But if they fail to do that, bears could swing this down. Be careful here. It's a tight trading range. So when you're reading these reviews, go back and ask these people exactly how much time did they spend in that trade room. Because if just, for the benefit of every other trade room out there, every other trade room owner, you can't just go trade room hopping, okay? It's like bar hopping. You grab a drink, you enjoy your drink, you walk away, you have no friends there, you didn't enjoy anything, you were just some stranger standing there, okay, pretending that you're one of the locals, and then you go to the next bar and the next bar and the next bar. It's like you make no friends, right? You have nothing accomplished. Trade rooms are like that, right? So when you trade room hop or mentor hop, you will learn nothing. You will learn something, but you're never going to be able to trade, or you're going to be confused. So go back and ask those reviewers, okay, how much they have dedicated their time in that trade room or to that person to truly understand what they're teaching. So there's some kind of a double top here, but they're not able to break above it just yet. And again, you can see it. I mark it every morning for you. That dotted golden line is actually the Asia midpoint. If we get above it, we're bullish. If we get below it, we're bearish. Some kind of a range there. Yellen will begin to speak soon, so she can move the market, so be careful there. Soon, so she can move the market, so be careful there. Trying to find an example of a day like this. Bears want a bear flag. So look at this. 1, pull back. 2, pull back. 3. So let me show you something. Let me, yes. Okay. Take a look at here. Take a look at this day, October 21st. Okay. I'm sorry, not that October 21st, no. It just moved, sorry. That's October 5th, actually. October, that's 13. Where is that? That's it. Okay, so take a look at here. You see this bull run? It's not identical to Friday, but see, they came down 2 legs. We came down 2 legs. And then they made a bear flag. And they tried to sell it, but they failed. So we might be trying to make that bear flag, okay? But if this bear flag fails, that means we're in a small pullback bull trend. Now look at bar 12. Look at bar 13, 14. 2 bar reversal, pullback, right? Now another bull bar. They could not, break above the structure. Bulls need a bull close. This is another pullback. Now, if this pullback is at one single bear bar, we could get another bull bar. That's it. We're in a small pullback bull trend, which will test the highs and probably go higher. This day, however, failed. It tried to sell, bear flag failed. So it went back into the trading range, ended up making a triangle, and towards the end of the day, it actually finally broke down. But it's basically a trading range, October 6th. Now, there's something else. Okay, so take a look at this now. Okay. Take a look at this day. So say the trend began here and they were up. So it's similar, right? So, and then we started kind of a gap up, came back down, made kind of a two-legged move, but we did not separate, but they did. But it's a similar thing, right? It's the same thing. But then look at it, right? So bull bar, couple of very weak pullback bars, another bull bar, one or two bear bars, bull bar, single bear bar. So we are in some kind of a bull trend, and we get more. It's not the most strongest one, but it still went up and tested the high. There's a day just like this. That's the one I'm trying to find. They're trying to reach, this is a climax bar. They're trying to reach the 50%, which they did just now, or right around there. If they do close that bull bar, they're trying to reach the open or the high of that climax bar. So, apex, bears failed to close below it, bulls took over with the second leg. And I did say that bar 15 is a pullback bar. So you wait for one or two bars to pull back. All they got was bears, bar 15 and 16, and the bulls got a second leg opportunity and they jumped in. You kind of tell that the bears fizzled there. They could not close below midnight open. They failed for the second time. So the bulls take over and they're trying to go right back up once again. They were able to close a bull bar above the Asia mid-range. That is a big, objective for bulls. They're able to close a bull bar, but now they need to be able to stay above it and not come down. So just wait. What if we do come down? Don't be surprised if we get this bear flag, okay, and then start to sell. Look at that huge expanding triangle, maybe like that. We didn't quite reach it, but you got the point, right? Maybe like that. And then the following day was bullish. So can we do this? We do have one surprise bar. We have two legs down. Our second leg was below the EMA, closed with three bear bars, but then got rejected. So now bulls went above, but even though the bears could not close more than one bear bar, bulls were rejected above it. So that's still a bear flag. We have something forming like that too. Yellen is about to speak. Market could be looking for a catalyst, to sell. I don't know what she's going to say. I don't care. But in order to sell and bears to actually turn this around, they need some kind of a catalyst because we're going up to test the high of bar 7 at the moment. So, second leg up. This is a breakout. So if you measure from bar 42, 2-to-1 target is 37.96, 75. Or the outside bar bullish breakout, now measure that, right? The entire range of bar 11. Did we reach 1-to-1 already? Yes, we did. Look where we are. 1-to-1 breakout. 200% is 1-to-1. First, they tested the shallow target and took profit, and then went to the next target. Finally broke above it and closed the bull bar 18. Now they reached their target. If the bulls close a bull bar above it, they're going to try to get to here, which is their 2-to-1. If you measure from this range breakout. But if I was long, this is where I would have been taking profit and waiting. Trying to find a similar. Hey. They're not accelerating. It's literally stalling here. Something's coming. Some kind of catalyst. Yellen just started to speak, so watch out, everybody. Okay. Algos are listening right now, and that's the catalyst they need. If they want to sell this right now, they do see already, let me get rid of this, they already see some kind of a wedge bear flag. But is market bearish enough to sell anything? That's the question, right? So bulls reach their target. If I measure from here, that was their 1-to-1. But no bull bars are closing above 1-to-1 target. Once we start to get those, then yes, we can go up to the high of day, which happens to be the 2-to-1. But what if suddenly we get a surprise bear bar? That's game over. That could be game over. So market is deciding, and it's listening for some kind of catalyst, something. So if you're counting bars, okay, this is what I would have done. And most of my trades are counting bars, okay. Hang on a minute, let me fix. Bar counting is basically how I find my entries, right? So here is, if I'm counting from here, maybe high 1, but this just came down so much because bears are basically looking for low 1 and low 2, or low 1 and low 2. So the second leg down, bulls take over. So that to me, maybe high 1, and we're still in high 2, okay? And 18 bar range, we're going sideways. What is market trying to do? Is it trying to break out of the 18 bar range? Well, if we're going to break out of 18 bar range and bullish, that means we're going to get some kind of a bullish move. I look at the Globex chart and try to see where I am on this chart in relation to what happened, the Asia and London. We're stuck in this Globex range. Bulls failed to go test the Globex high with the US Open. Bears fail, okay, to break down the Asia range. So some kind of decision will be made. But I'm looking at these levels. Okay, we're back in the Asia range. We're above the mid-Asia line. We're above the US Midnight Open. So we're slightly more bullish. But if you look at the 5-minute chart, we are bullish, except we're in a trading range. So maybe it's better to count, okay, count legs. So here is maybe leg 1, leg 2. Can we get a leg 3? So if this is high 1, high 2, can I get a high 3? Or is this all the bears are getting? I'm sorry, the bulls are getting, and the bears are going to start to print some bear bars here. So if bar 20, okay, fails to close a bear bar below the bar 19, bulls might take over this once again and try to close or go beyond bar 18 high, okay? If the bears actually close a strong bear bar below bar 19 and even breach bar 18, that could be a reversal, but we're not at some high to reverse anything or at some low to reverse anything. This is very confusing, and it's because you're in a trading range. And we could stay in a trading range. That would be really bad, but it is what it is. UK is in turmoil, so they're trying to. Did they pick a prime minister? Who won? I thought the Boris Johnson got the highest, but he walked out or something. He's no longer running. because he doesn't believe that the parliament is equal. I guess he just doesn't want to deal with it. I don't know. Oh, so the Sunak guy. So Sunak is the new. I mean, how cool is the time? Is it around Diwali? Is Rishi Sunak's? I don't know. Maybe I should talk about this. All right, this is the extent of my. Okay, UK politicians. How much I know about them. Never mind. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so they need a leader. So hopefully they got one. Yeah, there's that. There's a rumor that Boris Johnson is Turkish. I'm sure some Turkish people just dropped dead or fainted by just hearing that. Yeah. Oh, really? His grandfather is Turkish? Well, House of Denmark is Turkish. Did you guys know that? Oh my gosh. It's true. They have some Turkish names and places actually name. It goes all the way back to the migration of Turks. I mean, it's a whole story. I had all these stories I was going to tell you guys at the event this week, but sorry, I couldn't make it. I didn't know that. Now I have to go check it out. Bulls are still trying to get their another high close so they can break out of this bull flag that they see here. And let me check something. That is not a micro double bottom. Bulls need to close that body bullish to break out with a one tick trap of the bears. If they cannot close this bar 21 bullish, not interested of buying this. But it's not bearish enough to sell either. So to me, it's more bullish, and it wants to break out, and it wants to go test the climactic bar high, which is right here. There are probably sellers there. But this, it has to start with this bar closing bullish. So you got a bull flag, another bull flag, but you're in a trading range. We're above this trend line, okay? Now the bulls are trying to continue to test the October 5th high. That's their goal to reach, and they could still reach because this is still a small pullback bull trend. Have you noticed? Pullbacks are just about 2 bear bars at this point, but I would have preferred one single bar. We haven't had that yet, so I don't know how strong this small pullback bull trend is. Okay, so the trades, what I would take in, well, we had 9:45 a.m. news, and it was the PMI, so it's a big news, and I didn't want to do anything, but I did say that, we're trying to go up to this level, but look what happened here. We had a unofficial outside inside, and bulls actually closed this body without even closing below the close of bar 2, so that makes them bullish still, and they pushed it, and that was the news bar. Came down a little bit, but they still had some kind of pressure, but then they failed. So if you are looking to buy, there were buyers, buy stop orders above there, but some of them trailed down here, and they entered with a much lower price and made a lot more money, which I explained. So they actually made 17.5 points right there. But if you actually bought above that outside box, you still had a 9 point there. That's a significant amount, okay, for those who were willing to buy with a buy stop. Now, news, but we're not able to actually close above this. We did actually, I'm sorry, we did, but we couldn't go further up. So then I said, I do see maybe small head and shoulders. I was worried there, then you get a surprise bar. Now, bar 7 is also 10 o'clock. I don't know what came on the 10 o'clock, but that right there is also kind of a news bar, but a surprise bar. And a bar like this, we're probably going to get continuation. And I said, if you do sell one tick below that bar, you're going to have to take profit because the bears are trying to close the gap, and there's a small tight trading range that broke out. So the 50% of that is target. Bar 8 comes in and tests that, and the profit taking begins. Or, so it comes down and profit taken, and then they sell again, the continuation with a second leg for bears. But I warned you guys that we are clinging to the EMA. I don't know how bearish we are. If you're still selling this second leg, there is a expanding triangle just like that. Take profit there. Or I said there is a inside bar 8 and 9 combo, and you measure that, okay, and where is the breakout? It's not to the upside. Where is it? Well, to the downside. Where are they going to take profit? They're going to scalp that, and mostly they're going to scalp here. This happens to be also the trend line test, so you better take profit, I said, because this is probably going to go back up. So it did. They didn't stop there. They kept pushing higher and higher. It's because we have no gap bars. This bar, the second leg, bar 11, looked like gapping down. At that point, it looked like a one tick. But by the time it closed, the EMA started to touch. So there's no gap there. So to me, you have only 3 bear bars closing. 1, 2, 3, 4, just about 5 bars underneath the EMA, but no gapping. And the gapping is the first bull bar. They buy it. So now you have a new combo, outside, inside, 11, 12. What am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to do anything inside, right? I'm looking for a breakout. Breakout comes in with bar 13. Where do you think the bulls are going to take profit? First scalp. If a bull body goes above it, that's actually where you're going to take profit because you're going to get a pullback there. And they got their pullback, but more bulls join at the breakout test, breakout of outside bar high, range high with bar 13. Come back and test it. A new bull bar closes. Bulls are trying to get a 1-to-1 target, and they just got it, but no bull bars closing above. So if you haven't taken profit, market gave you a second chance to take profit. First profit taken, which I warned you there when this was happening, and first leg, pullback leg in a bull move now, okay, and second leg for bears. You were able to take profit and get out if you haven't gone out. Now we have, what do we have? I was looking at to see if this is an inside bar. It really is not, because bar 21 went 1 tick below bar 20. So we're still in pullback, okay? So this is basically still the second leg, believe it or not, second leg. So it's still the counter, or you could say bears are trying to get a bear flag. First, second, and third push with a lower high. This, I believe, nope, that's actually, is it? No, I don't know. Nope, it's the same. So basically, it's a double top, okay? Wedge, double top, and the bears are trying to get some kind of a bear flag, but I still don't know if this is bearish enough. It's a terrible small pullback bull trend. It's not the best. This should not, bar 22 should not be happening. Bulls are still trying to break out of the bar 18 range, but remember, bar 18 range can start from bar 16, can go all the way to bar 22 and 24, okay? So by the time the breakout happens, it could happen maybe, I don't know, 4-6 bars after bar 18. Now, when you are looking for some kind of a bull flag, okay, or bear flag, If the range is more than 20 bars and still hasn't broken down, that means it's still going, okay? Now it's 30 bars. Now it's 40 bars, okay? Chances are it may not break down. It might actually go the other way. Be careful. Now, I want to show you guys something. Let's take a look at yesterday. What do you see here? If you count this pullback, and we kind of reached, okay? Look, they kept selling. 20 bars, 30 bars, 40 bars. I don't even know how many bars in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it's just more than 40 bars here. So they kept selling. The bull flag didn't really happen until they found some support and then bounced. But even that bounce didn't work. It ended up being a bear flag, double top bear flag, and it sold. So if the bull flag failed after this many bars pullback, which is part of the course, go watch the video, okay? Similar thing could be happening here. So how accurate is this bear flag? It may not be there. So that's why I'm saying if you're trying to sell, at least look for a second entry sell. Now let's take a look. If you look at the bar 19 and 20 combo, bar 20 went below bar 19. The body did not close, but that's still a bridge. So that's the first entry sell. Now you have an outside down bar 22, okay? Is that a second sell? Yeah, it is. But where is the follow through? So those who actually sold it above the EMA, what seems like a bull flag, but they see a second entry, it's a low probability sell, they're stuck now. Now you have an IOI. So bulls might be trying to break out here. Very difficult. So what is jumping at you? What's jumping at me is this bull trend trying to get continuation, not doing a great job. But I'm seeing now bull flags trying to break out. I will sell when I see bears actually closing, okay, strong bodies and consecutive bars and taking out strong bull bars and moving under the EMA. Otherwise, not interested. This pullback could continue and go beyond 20 bars, 30 bars, whatever, and that is then a bull trend. So you buy the pullbacks. Pullback, bull bar, buy. Scalp a 1 or 2 point, get out. So say you bought one tick above. Say you bought one tick above and that high, 21 high. One tick above that is 88. You got filled at 88 with your buy stop, right? Because you know this just a pullback, 19 and 20. Even though it doesn't have a second leg, most likely it will, but you're completely ignoring because you just lowered your buy stop order. Now you need to make that 1 point. Profits, traders' profit on S&P, yes, is 1 point. You have to be able to make that. In order for it to go, market to give you 1 point, it has to go to 89.25. 89.25, it went 90.25. That's a 2 point right there. Bulls were able to make a 2 point scalp right there. It went up to 91, but it didn't go to 91.25. So it was 2 point and actually it was 3 points. So they entered. Yep, that was a 3 point run. So there you go. So bulls are making money, buying above pullbacks and high closes. So now if this is a high 1 from this high, okay, say this is a high 1, bulls are looking for a second entry long. Now look at bar 23, really strong close, okay, but it didn't go prior bars high, but it's a strong close. Now there might be some buy stop orders lowered, so let me try. This is sim. I'm going to lower 1 tick above. This is a sim trade. Do not follow. I'm demonstrating. I am 1 tick above bar 23 because I do think that the bulls are strong and they're going to fill me there and they're going to give me at least a 1-point scalp. My stop is going to go under 22, which is really large, but let's see. Let's see if I can get filled. If bulls are not in the market and bears are still trying to sell this because this is an outside, inside, and inside II combo, when you have II, you have an outside bar and you have inside and another inside. This is a breakout mode. Bears are going to want to try to test here and break out. If it's above the EMA and you're trying to sell, you may not go far, because if we cannot break out from here, we could just go back and reverse. So I'm still safe, okay? I'm trying to get in the market. I do think that it's bullish, okay? And I want to get filled as bears fail to sell here. I do see II. We're above EMA. I don't want to sell because most likely buy stop bulls are either above here, they lowered it down here, and they're waiting to get filled. II tries to, if it's a bear, okay, bears will try to test the prior inside bars low, but that doesn't mean that they will be breaking out from there. If they do, then you want to see a strong bear body break down. You're still in the range, this bar's range. That doesn't mean that it's going to sell. It could still go right back up. The location of where the outside and the inside bar is an importance. You're above the EMA. And it doesn't matter if the outside bar is a bear bar. You're still above the EMA. So you have to give probability to the bulls. So now I see first entry failed. Now there's a second entry. Maybe I can make that point here. The idea is to make a point safely. Okay, anything more than 1 point is bonus. If you cannot make a 1 point safely and fast, very fast, lightning speed, that means something's wrong in the market, okay? You're buying into exhaustion maybe, or not a good place. My stop should be here. See if I can make that point. See, I'm struggling. Why am I not making that 1 point so quickly? Why is this happening? This is sim, do not follow. You can also put your stop underneath the inside bar, okay? But I don't do that unless this bar closes bullish, then I'll move it under the inside. You should be 1 tick below there. So if price comes down here and closes down here, I will exit out. I would flatten this order, okay? I will exit out because I do not want my stop to hit. If bears are able to take out an inside bar this strong, most likely they're going to want to come down and test the bar 22 high, which is the outside bar. But we're still above the EMA. Inside bar is strong. IOI, breakout mode. But I didn't make that 1 point. In fact, look how close it gotten and it left me there. So is something wrong with this? Yes. If something's wrong with everything that you do, that's because you're in a trading range. And this is a terrible small pullback bull trend. The pullbacks are more than 2 bear bars. It shouldn't be like that. So I'm struggling, but I'm going to wait. I want to make that 1 point. But I should have gotten that 1 point in lightning speed. Lightning speed. That tells you right there, something is wrong with this bull trend. Or instead of entering by lowering my stop order, okay, above bar 23, I could have kept it 1 tick above 22. Then that could have been 100% bulletproof entry, because if price is going above an outside bar in a setup like this, that means it's trying to break out. Now, it's because I probably didn't read the wedge, 1, 2, 3, double top, possible reversal. Now, bar 24 did not come down or did not close bearish. I can still hang around here, but if that bar comes down here and closes here or here, I am hitting close, not letting the price come all the way down here and exit me out with a lot bigger loss. So I have no reason to sell or worry about it because bar 24 now closed on its high and extremely weak bearish. I'm going to hang on. I want to make this 1 point, but I'm ready to exit. It's sim. I'm losing almost 5 points at the moment. It's going to do something. Look, outside, inside, outside, inside. Failed to break out, but it didn't close bearish bar 24. Back in now, another outside inside combo. I want to see how 25 is going to close before I start to panic. If 25 closes suddenly on its low, very bearish, I'm done. I will hit that close and I will take my loss, and that will be the end of it. And then I'll probably look for a bear move down if I see bars closing below EMA. But right now, I don't need to worry about anything. Now I can actually move this 1 tick below the inside bar. I'm going to have to exit anyway, so either that exits me out if it's that bearish to come and get me, or I'm going to hit close. And you're trying to buy in a trading range and another trading range. You see that limit order market? You're trying to buy above things. You also have to consider that not a good place. Maybe it would have been better if I actually bought with a pullback, but I'm counting bars. I have to pick something to trade, right? So I saw the high 1 didn't work, maybe high 1, high 2, high 3 didn't work. Nothing's working. Maybe I could just, if I'm not happy with this, you know, if this bar closes somewhere here, I could just hit close and get out. Or it's going to kick me out if it starts to become very bearish. Bears are trying to get some kind of bear close below 24 so they can sell. Bulls should not allow bears to close a bear body below 24. If they do it, I am going to hit close and I don't care. Turn this dollar amount to points, okay, or ticks. Okay, so that body closed on its mid-level. It didn't close bullish. That's not good for the bulls, but it didn't really close extremely bearish where I want, you know, where I thought bears might try to close. So I can still stick around. There's another outside-inside combo. I can move my stop underneath the inside and lower the risk just in case I fail to make that. So I'm going to do that. I'm still not making 1 point. Look at that. It's testing, but it's not giving me. So maybe it's a good thing that I move my stop there, because if this fails right now, right here, my loss is going to be small. I should be able to get that 1 point. Why am I not getting it? That's the problem right there. Should have been have this difficult. It should have been much, much easier to make that 1 point. And in fact, it actually tagged my target, but I never got filled. Something's wrong with everything. It's because I'm in a limit order market and bulls are not breaking out. So my stop is in a much better place, okay, because I'm trying to scalp. And if I cannot make 1 point, what point do I have putting a stop down here and then losing everything? So I'm willing to lose this, but not more. And you're going to get this. Oh, okay, finally. Thank goodness. Here it is, 1 point I made. Now, if the bulls are in it to win it, now they need to show me, okay? That's good. Now, you can do two things. You can leave your stop there underneath that inside bar, or you can put the stop right here because it was such a painful thing, but be ready because this is a breakout. Most likely, it's going to come down here. So just leave it here for now. Or if you don't want to lose anything, then just move it to one tick above your break even. But be prepared to be kicked out from your runner. You would still walk away with, what is it? $62.50, but that's all you, no, wait, I would be walked away a lot more than that because it's a 2 contract, or I don't know. Right now I'm a little over $200. So what trade? What am I not trying to fix? I'm here to scalp. I'm not here to fix anything. Right? So you can't fix everything. How can you fix it though? Well, if you want to fix it, then you got to move your stop out of the way. So I got kicked out. All I made was $75. Okay. So say, you know, my stop is here, came down. Where are you going to buy? Where can you buy? Well, maybe there are no 2 bull bars, so it's very difficult, right? So you don't know if it's going to stop here and go back up. There are no 2 bull bars. Do you see them? There's only 1 bar. It may not stop here. It might just come down, even break this level, come all the way down here, maybe look for buyers there. So I have to buy again there, hoping the price goes to the EMA if I'm lucky to get out at the EMA. So why bother? Just take the $75 and walk away. So no, I'm looking for continuation, basically. There's already a small pullback bull trend, and I said the price is trying to go up here. Okay, so we already breached the climax bar midpoint somewhere here. Okay, we're trying to reach here, so the market is bullish. We're in a bull channel, small pullback bull trend. I'm just buying above things to make money. That's all I'm doing. If you look at this right here, okay, what do you see? Do you see a bear trend or do you see a bull trend? What do you see? You have to first need to establish that, right? The overall trend is bullish. Now, this is for you, Blossom 45. I'm answering your question. So if you see bears printing a surprise bar, yet all they get is a continuation leg down, and nothing is gapping down or separating underneath the EMA. And then we get these bull flag 1, bull flag 2, and another breakout. So don't you want to buy? So I am buying in, scalping a little bit, and getting out. Now, I didn't have to get out. I didn't have to move my stop to the break even, but I didn't like the fact that my 1 point took a long time. Okay, I couldn't make that 1 point scalp fast, and that kind of made me nervous. So I said, you know what? It's better the money in my pocket than, you know, my runner is dying and taking away all that money I made by waiting that long. So I just moved to, you know, break even. You don't have to. You can leave it under inside bar or down here at the higher low 22 and wait for bulls to close above this prior high with a bull bar 26, close another bar, and then move that stop to here instead. So now you're in a swing. You're swinging with your last runner. But look at the small pullback bull trend. Okay, 2 bars strong, 2-legged move. Not that strong, but 22 is an outside down bar, and they closed a strong bear body. So where are the consecutive bull bars? You get another 2 bar. Bulls are not putting consecutive 2 bull closes. So how strong is this? I don't know. All I know is that we are in some kind of bull trend and the price is trying to reach here. It could turn any second, or it's just going to break out. Now, bears, can they still get their bear flag? What did I say earlier? Count how many bars, right? So you have a 2-legged move, spike pullback, and now you have a channel, right? So well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16 bars. It's still going. Where are the bear bodies to create this breakdown and a bear flag? I don't see it either. So I didn't see that, so I bought into it because I thought the probability is a lot more higher to make that 1 point. Wedge top and a tight trading range. Okay, I did say there's a wedge top, but where is the second leg coming down? That's just a counter trend pullback by bears. Bulls are buying high 1s and high 2 and high 3 and high 4. So I'm just demonstrating. So it's just, you know, sometimes you're going to be able to make a good runner. You're going to be able to have a good runner. Sometimes you're not going to. It's better if people see it. But it was nonetheless, I entered in a limit order market, buying above a strong bull bar that normally machines will probably going to sell that. And they did, and I got stuck there, right? So, but my stop was down here, so I was okay. And where's the bear? 24 didn't sell well. It closed very weak. And another inside bar. And in this inside bar, look, 24 and 25, that inside bar, right, did not close down here, so it's not that bearish. Then this bar tested low but never closed below the inside bar and went and closed above. So where do you think that they're going? They're going still high. But at this point, I'm out because it's not a strong, small pullback bull trend. And sometimes you don't get the feel and you just have to, you know, stay away. And can this be a 4 push wedge? Yes. So maybe 1, 2, 3, and final exhaustion push. And what if bears do show up? Sure, I'll sell if they sell. Now, what am I looking for? Bar 26 and 25, outside, inside, after 4 pushes, possibly an exhaustion. So what am I looking for now? I'm looking for, if bears want to take this over, they're going to have to take out that inside bar's low. Then they need to come down and take out the bar 26, which is an outside bar's low. If they do close a bear bar, okay, it could go up and then sell again. That would be from the highs, first sell and a second sell. I'll sell it if I see it, but I have no reason to sell anything. Why? Because the outside bar is bullish. It is above the EMA, and I don't have this bar yet closed. So I need to see, because we could come in, test the inside bar's low, and then close that bar higher. That means buy stop orders are waiting to get activated again by bulls. It's a bullish market. It's just slow. But if the bears close this bar, 28, on its low, below the inside bar, they're accomplishing something by taking out the low of the inside bar first. Now, in order to continue, they're going to have to come down and close either near the 26 low, or they're going to have to breach and close outside the bar 26 range low. When they do that, that's a proper breakout, right? So look, that's the first sell entry now. Some are already selling into 4 push and failed bullish breakout. This is a bull breakout. Failed. Where is the continuation? So some bears who were actually trailing their sell stop orders got entered right there. Now, did they make any money? I didn't sell, but if you were to sell right here, right, what are you trying to make? 1 point. Where did you get entered into your short? One tick below 87.75. So you got filled at 87.50. Price needs to go to 86.25 to give you a 1 point. It did. It went to 85 and 84 and even 80, 83. It gave you a lot more than 1 point. So now bears are making money. What happened to bulls? 4 push, failed breakout, so the bears are now trying to take it over. Now, in order for this to continue to sell, first they breached the inside bars low. Now they need to close that body right down here, okay? If they cannot do that, I'm not interested in selling. I'm going to wait for a second sell. So bears need to last in 2 minutes. Come down and close that body right here. Then you measure the height of this bar. First target, second target, and 1-to-1. Uh, 20 gap bar by, there's no 20 gap bar there. There's nothing gapping. We already had that. I think you're just joined. Maybe you're just missing. We already talked about all of that. Yes, this was already a 20 bar gapping. We already counted. We knew this was a 20 bar gap. I said that watch out, the bars are clinging to the EMA, and if you see any failure, bears are selling, bulls are going to try to close a bull bar. You got it always in long conditions, 13 and 14, and you know they're trying to buy, and they even both pull back. So I said we now have 3 bull bars and pull back, only 2 bars, and then now 2 more bull bars and pull back. So we're in a small pullback bull trend. I said you're just catching up. And because of that, I prefer to go in and make that 1 point with a long trade, not a short trade. So based on, just reading what you just wrote, based on Friday's bull run, this is the possible formation final flag. Dependent, sure. It could be. Or we have targets up here, okay? We have October 5th. If you look at the bulls are trying to reach the October 5th high, which is 3820 area, somewhere there. So that seems to be a magnet for them, and they're trying to reach that. But they're not doing a good job breaking out. It's just slowly grinding. Small pullback bull trend. Not a good, strong one. Which I said could be this, and we could be in this mess. Okay? And that what seems like it. Everything forms a wedge. And or this right here. Right? So 2-legged move, bars are clinging, bull flag, bull flag. It's a much better breakout. It tested that climactic bars high, even broke out a little bit. We haven't even reached that climactic bar 7 high, but that's where they're trying to go. So we could break out and get to the magnet before coming down. So the sentiment is bullish, and you should be buying the pullbacks. Or if you don't want to buy the pullbacks, buy above prior highs. Because there's probably an outside-inside combo, and market is betting for breakouts. And the bull's trying to make a 1 point. I like to buy the pullbacks because bars are overlapping a lot more. Okay, so you're going to get much better entry. But if you bought 1 tick above 26, why would I buy above 1 tick above 26? I've been teaching you guys all morning, last 3 hours. I started with the open. Outside-inside combo, 26, 27, and 28 failed to break down. We're above the EMA. Your outside bar is bullish bar. Bears try to test, fail to close, and now they close the bull bar. You can either wait to get activated above 26 or lower that buy order right above it, get filled with that pullback, and you're going to make a lot more money. In fact, I'll prove my point to you. If you bought right there, okay, price went this much. So that is 5.5 and a half points, right? Is it? Yeah. So if you bought here, one tick above, you want that much, 10 and a half points. Now 11. So when you're talking about wedge, you have to also keep the market sentiment, okay, in mind. So you can't just say, hey, this is a wedge, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we counted that too. But, okay, so if this is a first entry sell, why isn't the bar 20 body fail to close one tick below bar 19? Tell me. Because it's a terrible first sell. Now look at the second sell. Where, okay, bar 22 went beyond bar 21, but why did the body close here but not here? And where is the second bear bar continuation? It's because bears are not in the market. That's all. Bulls are buying the pullbacks. They're looking for pullback because the breakouts are really yucky. But regardless, they're making money buying above things. And I proved my point that I could make money, and I did. It was painful, but I did. So this is a small pullback bull trend now breaking out finally, but still. Now, what did we test? We test the open of this climactic bar. Now we're testing 2 bars right here. It's because bulls are trying to get to the high of day, and they're trying to make a new high of day and get to my magnet, which is right there. I also said earlier, if you, hold on. Thank you. That was a good sculpt. So if I take that, okay, extreme to extreme, this is where the bulls are trying to reach. Now, can they make a double top here and fail? There has to be some kind of a surprise bear bar. We now have a breakout bar 29. We're also breaking out, okay, from the 18 bar range. So is there some kind of a measured move target? Well, let's find out. That's a measured move target. That's one. That's pretty much the only one that I would take probably. Unless we break out of this high, then I have a much bigger measured move. But right now, this is the one that I want to see bulls actually get to 38.0825. Since this is a trading range, there are probably sellers somewhere here. It's kind of a trading range, but I think this is first where bulls are trying to reach. Can they get to the Globex high? Now, if you're looking for a wedge, maybe count here, 1, 2, and 3. Or we're going to fail. I don't know. So if this breakout does not get continuation or fails to get continuation, that's bad for the bulls. Bulls need a continuation. That's a good breakout bar. But just like any breakout bar, it's going to pull back always before finding buyers first. Because you have, look how many bars are overlapping, okay, even though making new highs, but no bodies are breaking out. So this is the very first bar that just broke out of some kind of limit order market finally. So most likely it's going to pull back first before going back up again. So can it, where can it go? Well, let's see if there will be any buyers underneath that pullback bar first, or will the pullback bar 30 close actually on its side bullish and it's going to just break out again. Measured move target 38.0625. Bulls want to get another high of day. This can go up to 38.0975 or 38.10. And for these small pullback bull trend, target is right up here, these October 5th. If we do break out of Globex high, which is 38.1350, then this is your first target and then the second target. What if the bears show up suddenly? They're going to have to print a huge rejection bar that is almost the same size as bar 29 to reject this and give us a strong 2-bar reversal. I don't see it, do you? I don't. So they're going to try to push and get that measured move target most likely. There might be some sellers above here because they did sell with 2 legs down. So some sellers might sell, but I think that we're going to keep pushing. This area is tired, I think, on the Globex because we've sold already twice and failed. Now, I want to see what they're going to do at the high of day. Will they fail? Will they break above it? If they do, that's fine. I can then maybe readjust measured move to there because there's a trading range there. I'm going to take bar 16 and that would be my continuation target. But right now, first things first, either that or you could take bar 22, then 38.1375, which happens to be the Globex high. All right, so the follow through bar 30 is really, really weak. Not good, but it's still a bull close. So good for the bulls, but it is a weak follow through. Now, but it's not a bear close, so that's a good thing. We still close the bar 30 body high, higher than the prior bull bar's close. So that's continuation for bulls. So follow through, continuation, same thing. So the bulls should not allow any kind of micro double top here and continue to break out and make new highs. I want to see 38.10 area tested or 13.75. I don't know if I measured this right. Well, 14. Okay. I extended this. You don't have to. You can just scalp at the conservative target, which is right there, and we're so very close to it. I just pictured Tim buying like 10 different flip-flops right now at the Walmart. Oh, I got a really good deal on these. I don't know why I pictured him that way. And we gotta make fun of these people. They're gonna have such a great time while I'm stuck here. So we gotta make some fun time while I'm stuck here. So we gotta make some fun. There is an indicator in the scripts. You can download it. Actually, another member found it and posted for me. Or maybe that was Ken. I don't remember. Somebody did. All right, so follow through. It's still good, but I don't know why it's pulling back. Maybe it's because we're at the high, so buy low, sell high. Some bulls are spooked probably. I'm just going to wait to see how bar 31 is going to close. I'd like to see continuation, but it's still, okay, here on the Globex, they're looking for some kind of a wedge and sell again, or head and shoulders, right? Left, right, and head. So if you're spooked here, then get out. If you don't want to be in this long because it's the top of the trading range and we're still struggling to close a second bull bar above the Asia range, bears are still trying to prevent this breakout. Look, in order for bulls to get to these targets, okay, starting with even before the Globex side, the shallow target is right there. First, they need to close a bull bar above the Asia range high. They did. I already see it. But we need the second bar to continue. So I'm going to wait for this bar to close. See what the 5-minute bar will do. It'll tell you a lot. 15 minutes still has more than 10 minutes. So it could still come down and the last minute go and close above it. That will be a breakout and the bulls would push this further high. But if it's coming down and if you're scared, then get out. Because the trading range highs are kind of rejecting. Breakout failing in a way, but I don't know. As is, it is failing. This is not a good bar for bulls. But I'm going to wait. All right, you have an outside down bar. So it's not a good bar for bulls. Okay, you had a similar bar like that. And I don't know where it was. Right there. But it didn't get continuation. Okay. So, but this one, the bar body closed really low. So bears might try to get continuation on this. I'm just not going to jump in. Because this is right now IOI at the moment, but you're at the highs and you're buying and you're hoping for a breakout for price to come here. So then bulls need to close this bar 32 now on its high and have an inside bar bullish enough, okay, to kind of reject these bears trying to sell. So I still do think that bulls are going to surprise us, okay, in 9 minutes. They might close this bar above the Asia range high. That would be finally a breakout for bulls. Bears want to swing this down to the trading range lows, but you have a target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4. I don't know if I want to sell right now. We need to see consecutive bear bars. We need to see consecutive bear bars. So first things first, bulls need to close a bull bar. Otherwise, bears are going to try to get a bear bar and a breakdown. Let me do this again. So that was the measured move. We did not really meet that. Left it behind by a lot. If I don't see a bull bar closing above this gold line, the Asia range high, then I will say, okay, fine, the bulls are failing. I don't have that yet. So there's still 7 minutes for that Globex bar to close. Micro double bottom, possible bull flag maybe, but the bar hasn't closed, so I don't know. As is, it looks like a micro double bottom, but you need a bull close with that bar 32 to continue. If it closes bullish, that means bulls are buying the pullbacks at the low of the bear bar. So that means they still want to continue to push higher. Can the bears show up? Yes. And if they do show up, they can actually bring the price down very quickly to 91, 37.91, and further down to 37.85. So be prepared, because all they want is a bear close here, inside, outside, inside, and they want that inside bar. Okay, so it closed bearish, but it's not that bearish. So, but still, some machines will look at it as that's a bear bar closing on its mid, but it's a doji. So, you see, if the bar's midpoint is here, that body's still closed here, and it's got a 1 tick body, bear body. I'm not going to sell this. I'm looking at here. I want to see what this bar is going to do in 4 minutes on the Globex charts, because if bulls close that bar, we're going to be quickly getting up here. 38,975, 38,10 area is bulls want to go test after reaching the measured move, if they can reach, or suddenly we're going to end up seeing bears here. Tough. Small pullback bull trend. Bulls are buying the pullbacks. Now there could be buyers one tick above bar 32. It's a bear doji, not a good bar to buy, but it's not a strong bear bar, so they're probably going to lower their buy orders right above it in hopes of making at least 1 point. Bulls need a bull close here. It's a micro double bottom, 31.32, so they want to break out from this bull flag and get to the shallow target, 38.0625 measured move. Bears want, I mean, they pushed a lot, and they might see this as exhaustion and a failed breakout, and they want to get a lower high and a reversal down. 1 more minute for bulls to either close above this Asia high or fail, one or the other. So we'll know. We're also inside. Look at the hourly chart. You have an outside, inside, and then now you have the second inside bar trying to go test the 2 hours ago. Okay, so that hour's high. So 10:30. So right around here, they're trying to test it. All right, so let's see. That's a high close. Some of the entries, the first entry above 32 entered, but they have not made money. They couldn't make a point. So if you entered 1 tick above, you would get activated at 01. Price has to go to 0225, which is right here, to give you a 1 point. These bulls entered 1 tick above that doji 32, has not made money. 0225, as soon as it gets hit, they will be making money. See, they got 4 ticks, but not 5 ticks. 02 is 1 point. 1 point doesn't cut it. It has to be 5 ticks. So they could not make that yet. Yes, that's what we've been calling the small pullback bull trend. I don't like the fact that the Globex bar actually closed, failed to close above Asia high. So that is not good. And I don't like the fact that the bulls bought above 32 could not make money. So maybe they're waiting for a second entry long. But it's really a slow grinding channel, and it can give in any second. So first entry sell, below bar 30. Bears are trying to get a second entry sell from the highs. Maybe a wedge top, okay, 4 pushes, 1, or you could count 1, 2, and 3 pushes, and a lower high. Bears want to get some kind of a bear flag, if you call this any bear flag, but it doesn't matter. They're trying to get a second entry short. That means they're going to have to close this bar 34. It's way below bar 33 with a bear body. That would activate the sell orders, because these bulls failed to make a solid point. And we could end up coming down so very quickly, 91 or 91.25, might even extend down to 85.25. That would be bad for bulls. We're stuck inside outside bar 31, inside bar 32, no bear breakout. So if you want to stick to your long, if you're long and if you want to stick to it, then look for, okay, a bull breakout from the bar 32 high first. We don't have that. Bar 33 failed. So the bulls are like, we got to do this now in order to go and test the high of outside bar 33 and then break out and finally just go to the measured move targets. So that's your only going for you. You're above the EMA. We are still inside the outside bar. That's the only thing I would say that going for bulls. And there you have it. So they closed that bar. That's a breakout. Now they're trying to get actual breakout. So what do you do if you're not using the measured move? You measure that outside bar. Where's your first target? Your shallow target is 38.0692. Lower down one tick, 0675. Okay? If they do close a bar above 0675 or 07, 38.07, okay, they're going to go up to the 38.1025, and then the measured move, 1-to-1 target is 38.14. So if this is a bull breakout, now is the time to close that bull body and keep going higher and higher and higher. 2-to-1 target is right there, which is above October high. So I think we're going to end up pushing towards 38.25. Let's go bulls. I mean, it's already 12.20. I need to get going, but I got nothing else to do, so I can hang out if you guys want me to just a little bit longer, since nobody's behind me. So I just took profit right at that high just in case. I did not like the fact that the bar 34 did not close above the outside bars high, so I just paid myself there just in case if it fails, but my runner is running still. So let's see if these bulls can push. The targets are in front of you. Now, for the conservative measured move, did we meet that? Again, we're failing. Look at that, 0625. We didn't even touch that. Yeah, it's 3-tick fail, but we don't know yet. Now, the reason why it's failing because we did not break out of the outside bars high, which was bar 31. I don't like it when they do this. This is just so painful. It's because bears want to swing this down, but good luck with that. You're going to have to show me really good, strong bear bars, like taking out the prior bull close. Maybe giving me 2-bar reversal, higher highs, reversals, sure. But we don't know if that's the case. So I'm going to assume bulls are still trying to get to at least to high of day, 38.10, or to be precise, 09.50, I'm going to say. Might be some sellers waiting there, but I think we're going to push towards 38.10. Let's just round it up. Yes, I mean, I see wedges everywhere. I see wedge everywhere I look. Yes, but it's a small pullback bull trend. Bulls are buying underneath every bear bar, every pullback is, even if it's a 2-legged pullback, they're buying. This wedge is probably going to break out instead of reversing. So that means what? Measured move target. If we suddenly get a huge bull bar, look at the structure. That could create a measured move target to the upside. But they're going to have to do really much better than this move. We need a lot more bull bars consecutive bull closes, not this mess. This is going to cave in shortly. It just needs to meet its target first. So it's still grinding higher and higher. I was really looking forward to this event. I'm so bummed because I was going to pepper L with all sorts of questions about Turkey. He just went to see Turkey last month. So it was one of their stops. I think they went to Istanbul and some other places. I was really looking forward to talking to him. I don't know. It's just sad. Oh well. Hope you guys have a great time down there if you're already there and listening. Yeah, I know. I was really wanting to meet every single one of you. I was even going to goof. I had a tiara and I bought a fake rose. I was going to hold it like a baton and walk around so you guys would see me. But too bad. Next time. I heard the event is stellar. I mean, everyone who goes there just cannot stop talking about it. I wanted to meet Ali. He's got great scalping techniques and swing trade. I mean, I've seen some of his slides. I really was looking. I even told Ken that I was going to stalk him because I don't think he's here on Discord. So, oh well. Yes, please say hi from me, Celtic Knot. Our first target met for the outside bar breakout, which is bar 31. Now, they did close a bull bar above it, which is good. They're taking profit right now. And if this bar, after this profit taking, closes above this 123, they can still continue to go up here. Now, this is also a measured move target, okay? You can also say, well, what if I take this as my measured move? Okay, that's fine. Then you have continuation. These breakouts are so weak. It's just maybe there are some buyers here at 38.05 area. We're actually testing 03.50. Let's see. Let's see if they can find some buyers with this pullback. If they do, this can go up about 6 points minimum. And that would be, let me see. And that would be, let me see. That would be 38.10. But these buyers need to show up now. They should not allow too much of a pullback. This bar needs to close up here at least, or go right back up. We need buyers right here, like 38.04.05 area. ATR is 675. So 6 points and 3/4. It can move up. It can even double it. I think the bulls are trying to push this further up to 38.20, 38.25 area. But it's just getting a little bit difficult. I just like to see the School of X high tested. We come so close to it. But first, these scalper bulls, they need to make money, and they're struggling here. These profit takers need to get out of the way so that we can just buy or go at least a 6 point up. Unless this is too high and there's some sellers above these highs, maybe here, and they're trying to prevent this breakout. But what do you see? Another outside and inside, 35 and 36. although 36 hasn't closed yet, so we don't really know if that is an inside bar. So that's a very strong bear close. So that's now an inside bar. Okay, so bears want to actually now get continuation, but again, this is small pullback bull trend. They have been buying these strong bear closes. So how is this any different than this? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not much different. Now we have two bars closed above Asia high, Asia range high. They're not consecutive bars, so bulls are not that strong either. But we did close another bar, except that there is possible head and shoulders. I don't know. This doesn't really look like head and shoulder, but it could suddenly become one. No pattern is perfect. So it's not good for the bulls here. They should not be allowing bears close a second bear bar. Instead, they should buy this bar 36 low like they did here. They did here. They did here. They did here. Here. So if they want to keep pushing this to the 38.14, now is the time to close this bar 37 on its high. Otherwise, bears are going to sell this because this is just not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not breaking out very bullish. It's also the top of the trading range, so you know it's buying low here. Some bulls are taking profit because it's top of the trading range, and they might already think that this is all they're getting. So I want to see if there are any bulls here at the 50% of this outside bar that we broke out of. It's also 1, 2, 3 push above EMA, maybe, since they got above the EMA, or 1, 2, 3, 4 push and a midpoint. So the bears want to actually sell this into the EMA, but I'm going to wait for this bar 37 to close because last second they closed this bullish. We're still in the small pullback bull trend. If you put a line, we might end up coming down here, or we won't. Trying to connect as many lows as I can. So, but two strong bear bars, that's not good for the bulls. They need to maintain their position above Asia range high if they want to go back up here. But this right here is the problem. Bears want to swing this down. But good luck with that because we do have targets up here. So let's just wait how this bar closes, 37. Small pullback bull trend, bulls are buying underneath the bear bars. They could surprise us with a bull close 37 and you would be upset if you sell or sold already. Because think about it, this bar is a breakout bar. Because if that's a breakout bar, then your wedge count begins again. 1, 2, and we might make a third push before coming down. Okay, so here, first push, pull back, second push, pull back. Okay, so if we, now they close the bear bar 37, so that is problematic for bulls, but they had a second bar right there. There's a trend line here. I'm not keen on selling, but if this bar closes third bear bar, especially if it closes on its low, it might try to go sideways and sell again. But if they close it bullish, then you have 2 pull back and a third bar bullish. Again, buyers could be under bear bars buying. All right, so what just happened here? Well, 36 is an inside bar. and there's no breakout, solid breakout from the 35 low, which is your outside bar, isn't it? So if there's no bear breakout, we may end up trapping the bears here. So now bulls need to close this bar on its high bullish and then go and test the high of bar 35. There might be buy orders waiting one tick above that. Some will lower their buy stop one tick above 37 to get a much better fill if they are betting against, okay, these bears, and they're trying to trap them. They already got trapped here a little bit, but the bar hasn't closed, so I don't know how good of a trap this is. So if bulls want this and they want higher prices, now is the time to close this bar on its high. Give those bulls who are trying to buy one tick above 37 a good solid 1 or 2 point gain reward, and then continue to break out to the 38.10 like it was our original plan. And if this bar 38 closes on its high, then the small pullback bull trend is still intact. Pullbacks are only 2 bars and we're buying underneath bear bars. So everything is basically, all right, so these bulls actually entered, but they did not make a 1 point. And these bears might want to get a second leg down. All depends on how this bar closes in 53 seconds. They need a bull close. And a third push maybe up here. If this is a breakout, which it is, 1, 2, 3, wedge failed and the bulls broke out. So now possible count begin here. 1, 2, maybe we can make that. Or we're just done here, and because I said we're gonna probably test this bar, this 1 hour bar, 60-minute bar high, which kind of failed the test though. Look, that is lower. We really didn't test right up there, but we came so close. All right, so this is the second leg down. This is the second leg down for bears. Leg 1, pull back leg 2. And some bears actually see some kind of a head and shoulders here, and they're trying to break that neckline. But all we're doing here is now testing that trend line, okay? Some bulls might show up there after the second leg, or we're just gonna sell this. Let me get rid of this. These who sold are making 10 points here. This is where they're trying to go. The breakout test, or EMA, with that second leg down, leg 1, leg 2. But this is now strong. You got now 4 bear bars. Now I'm watching to see if this trend line will hold. Most likely we're going to test the EMA. And the bears are trying to swing it down now. Yeah, bears kind of lost it. So first entry, second entry, they're selling with the second leg into the EMA. Can the second leg trap at the EMA and the bulls can take over once again? Well, let's take a look. Where's the target? Right there. They're trying to reach here and then possibly to here. That's 4 bars, 4 bear. If this bar closes like this, that's not good for the bulls. But first break of a trend line, buyers are probably there also, because you have a strong, not strong, but you have a bull channel, and you have this line here. When you get this break of a channel line or trend line, whatever, there are always buyers waiting there to buy that. So they're probably going to test this 95 regardless. But if they do close below it, they can continue to sell. EMA is right there. Asia did terrible. They just could not maintain their position above the Asia high. But it's not the end of the world yet. We don't know. There's still 1 minute. Last second, that bar goes and closes above here. Bulls can still take it over. Get over. All right. I am done with my session, everyone. I have to end this session, but I'll be in the Discord. You guys have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.